Also seeing gun violence on average nearly twice a week at the nation's schools. And this year's school calendar beginning very much the way last year's ended, with the sound of gunfire and the frightening images of survivors running for cover. The year ended with a mass shooting at Florida State University in Tallahassee. This one begins here at the Annunciation Roman Catholic Church in Minneapolis.
Police Chief O'Hara says the shooter was in his early 20s, and they don't know whether he had any connection to the school. People are grieving nationwide because of this tragedy. Joining me now live is Father John Evans, Vicar General for the Diocese of Salt Lake City. Thank you so much for being with me. What is your reaction to hearing this news?
Well, good afternoon. Hearing this news, it's an absolutely heartbreaking situation that's obviously unfolded over in Minneapolis. I mean, nobody ever wants to see anything like this. Nobody ever wants to hear of anything like this, and unfortunately, it happens all too often.
Are Catholic schools like these associated with the church, or are they independently operated?
It varies, but almost always, the majority of our Catholic schools across the nation belong to a parish, meaning they're a ministry of the parish. And so there's a parish that's, the worshiping families, local community, and the school is just an extension of that. I'm not certain in this case of the School of the Annunciation there whether it's independent or not, but it's probably belonging to a parish.
Do you have any connections with the Annunciation Church or any members that do have some sort of connection?
Not that I'm not from Minneapolis. I've not been there to that church before, so I have no connection to it at all. I'm not sure of anybody here that has a connection to it, but it's a Catholic church, so we're connected in that sense. But whether it was a public school or Catholic school, we're connected in the human family. What parent, wants to experience this? Nobody wants this for any of our children in our community across the country. So connected more directly or not, it just pulls at your heart because you don't want to see or hear of these things happening, and you certainly don't want to experience it.
Yeah, I don't remember another time when this has happened at a Catholic school. I'm not aware of any others at a Catholic schools. It may have happened. We have so many violent intruder situations that happen across the country. It wouldn't surprise me if it's happened in other Catholic schools. We don't just hear about it all the time, but here and there, public or private, religious or not, these are children. These are innocent children, and these things just shouldn't be happening. Are there people here in Utah that are doing anything to help or come together to pray for these families?
I just got out of a meeting 30 minutes ago when I got your phone call to check in with you, but I imagine there'll be a lot of prayer going on, across the whole state. The reality, I actually want to invite people to pray for these families that are grieving, pray for better solutions. We need to invite people to get involved civically in their communities with their access to their politicians and representatives. We need better involvement to address gun violence and mental illness and crime. We certainly can pray, but we also need to act in ways that we're able and we have access to. So I want to encourage and invite everybody to that too.
Father, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for being with me.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
You too. Father John Evans, Vicar General for the Diocese of Salt Lake City. KSL News Time 12:05. The National Weather Service has issued a flood advisory for parts of northern Utah. They say people should be prepared for urban and small stream flooding because of all the rain that we've been getting. It's especially a risk in low-lying areas with poor drainage and on roadways. Already today, we saw flooding along Washington Boulevard in Ogden. The flood advisory is in effect until 1, and we will talk to the National Weather Service about this coming up at 12:15. Homeowners living near the Willard Peak fire burn scar in northern Ogden are lining their homes with sandbags in case all this rain does lead to flooding or land movement. Josh Sawyer, has been busy lining bags around his home.
I think we've done everything we can to prepare for it, and we know that that's kind of the risk of living in this type of an area next to the mountainside of fires and it's okay. It's all right.
The city tells KSL-TV they have given out between 250 and 300 sandbags for homeowners. They say they don't foresee more than 10 homes being affected by the flooding if it happens at all. First look traffic. What's going on, Ricky?
Crews are wrapping up earlier crashes. One southbound I-215's west belt near the I-80 junction, about North Temple, and also the remainder of an accident in Davis County, southbound I-15 in Clearfield to the left. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL News Time, 12:06.
Next big holiday, it's right around the corner, and it's Labor Day. It's a time to kick back and relax and recover from all of the spectacular things you did during the summertime. And, of course, the effort of getting the kids back to school. It's time to go to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, don't you think? Hotel Park City or downtown Salt Lake City. Wrap up the summer, kick off the fall with your reservations at either location, where you are going to get a wonderful meal served in such an incredible way at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. And whichever entree you choose, whether it's one of their famous steaks or seafood, poultry, maybe it's something special on the menu, it will be cooked to perfection, exactly the way you like it, and served on a 500-degree sizzling plate. Side dishes to die for. The desserts, oh, you've got to save room. It's time to make your reservations. Ruth's Chris Steakhouse.
What are you doing every day to support your liver? If you enjoy sweets, fast food, alcohol, or take any medications, that's a vital question to ask. Hi, I'm Sherry Torkas, pharmacist and health author. For over 30 years, I've helped people make informed decisions about their health, especially concerning prevention and long-term wellness. Supporting your liver isn't just a wellness trend, it's a daily essential. That's why I recommend Active Liver by New Nordic. It's made with plant-based ingredients like milk thistle, turmeric, and globe artichoke, herbs clinically studied for their protective and restorative effects on the liver. Active Liver blends traditional herbal wisdom with modern scientific research. Not all supplements are created equal. I trust Active Liver because it's backed by science, meets strict quality standards, and delivers true daily liver support.
Protect your liver and give it the support that it deserves by making Active Liver from New Nordic part of your daily wellness routine. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meijer Grocery, or online at Amazon or newnordicusa.com.
Thank you for joining us for Midday. Recapping our top story, heavy rains this morning have caused the National Weather Service to issue a flood advisory for northern Utah. We could see roadway and small stream flooding until around 1 o'clock this afternoon. KSL News Time, 12:08. A coalition of attorneys general are asking internet search engine providers to help reduce deep fake pornography.
Utah Attorney General Derek Brown is leading 47 attorneys general in asking search engine providers to create safeguards, issue warnings, and, quote, redirect users away from harmful content. The attorneys general are also asking payment platforms to take action to better protect people by identifying and removing payment authorization for deep fake pornography. In a post on X, Brown says Utahns should not have to worry about predators stealing their images and creating deep fake pornography. Don Brinker-Hoff, KSL News Radio.
A woman living in Willard in northern Utah says Medicare has been charged thousands of dollars for medical supplies that she never ordered or received. Linda Karlinski tells KSL-TV's Matt Gephardt a New York-based company is making the claims, including $2,600 for 10 glucose monitors, but she doesn't have diabetes, and there were other charges.
$6,000 for wound care?
For wound care supplies.
You don't appear to me to have any wounds at all, let alone $6,000 worth.
No.
Audits show Medicare loses around $60 billion a year to fraud. Medicare says they will look into the case, and they advise everyone to closely read their benefits statement for problems. A road in Capitol Reef National Park is back open just in time for Labor Day.
Scenic Drive is ready for visitors with wider roads, more parking, and more phone lines. The construction project started last year and was designed to help the park accommodate for more visitors. The number of visitors has soared over the years, 9 times to the number of visitors the park averaged in the 1960s, when the roads and parking areas were designed. Last year, it got 1.42 million visitors, double what it got 10 years ago. Alexandria Bonilla, KSL News Radio.
Traffic and weather together. It's brought to you by Mountain America's My Style checking account. Ricky, it's been a problematic day with the wet weather.
It has been very rough out there. And to be honest, I can't necessarily say that Utah drivers like the rain. They don't do well in the rain on these roads. And the thing everybody needs to remember is when our freeways get wet, they can be slick. And maybe not like snow or ice, but the potential for hazardous driving is there. I came in and I saw multiple vehicles off the roadway. That was likely due to taking ramps too quickly on a wet road surface. So right now, a large portion of the valley drying out. Our roads are looking dry and in good shape. But if you happen to run into an area where there is rain, just reduce your speeds for the current driving conditions. Right now, we do have a little bit of heavy and slow traffic northbound I-215's West Belt between 3500 South and the 201 junction. Earlier accidents are really in the final cleanup stages, including the one in Davis County southbound I-15 approaching 650 North in Clearfield in that left lane. Mortgage rates are going down. Take advantage. Visit loansbyrick.com at Vintage Lending. Loansbyrick.com. NMLS 241179, Equal Opportunity Lender. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Hey, scattered thunderstorms today, high of 78 degrees. Overnight, 64, with an isolated storm still possible. Drying things out just a little bit on Thursday, 81 the high, but Thursday afternoon, isolated storms possible. Friday, 30% chance, 82 the high. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
And it's mostly cloudy, 73 degrees downtown. Coming up on midday, areas of northern Utah are under a flood advisory right now. We will talk to the National Weather Service about the biggest concerns. That's coming up, streaming live at KSLNewsRadio.com and on the app for KSL News Radio, sponsored by At Your Service Pros. We are Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
This Friday, join KSL News Radio and NPS from noon to 3 as the movie show stops by. Then, browse and uncover what makes NPS so great. With 4 locations, NPS takes a new inventory every day. Then, they check all competitors' retail pricing before marking items down 20 to 70% off. You're invited to visit the movie show this Friday from noon to 3. And that's the first step to discovering NPS. Visit npsstore.com to begin your own NPS adventure. npsstore.com.
The power of we believes in you. It advocates for you. It completes your circle. It makes sure you have the strongest circle possible. And with Intermountain Health in yours, you'll always have the care you need to live the healthiest life possible. That's the power of we. Intermountain Health.
Hey, this is Dan, the laptop man from PC Laptops. Let me tell you an amazing story. Last week, a customer came in. They were a creative director for an agency, and they were frustrated that their old, slow computer wasn't processing their files quick enough. He had a big project due and could not afford any delays. Well, we hooked him up with one of our new, powerful 2025 desktops for only $999, and he was able to complete his project with ease. Take one home today. The new 2025 S1 desktop or SM3 laptop for only $999. You heard that right, $999. You get a blazing fast processor, 16 gigs of RAM, and over a terabyte of blazing storage for $999. What else do you get? Lifetime service warranty, and we have 12 months special financing on approved credit. Hurry in right now because supplies are limited, because at PC Laptops, we love you. Just check us out at PCLaptops.com. $999, PCLaptops.com.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Any Hour Services can make sure your AC keeps you cool this summer. Whether you need a tune-up, repair, or just a second opinion about replacing it, call Any Hour Services or visit anyhourservices.com.
KSL News Time, 12:16. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
Utah Attorney General Derek Brown is leading a coalition of other attorneys general in trying to reduce deepfake pornography. I'm KSL News Radio's Don Brinkerhoff.
Second, we were watching for flooding around the area, especially in Ogden and North Ogden near the burn scar of the Willard Peak fire. More on that in a moment. Third, traffic and weather together, Ricky.
All of the freeway crashes that we've been dealing with for the last hour or so have been cleared. We're back to a delay-free drive throughout. Watch for wet roads in some areas. And the final cleanup of a crash downtown 4th East and 4th South. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Scattered thunderstorms in play again today. I'm Matt Johnson.
Mostly cloudy, 73 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Time now for KSL's top national stories.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Police say 2 children are dead and 17 others injured after a mass shooting in Minneapolis today at the Annunciation Catholic School. Kids and teachers gathering inside a church for Mass, marking the first week of school when gunfire rang out. Here's ABC's
8:30 local time. A man shows up from the parking lot armed with a shotgun, a rifle, and a pistol. And the early information is that he indeed used all of those weapons and began firing indiscriminately through the windows into the congregation, those children and the people there attending Mass.
Police say the gunman took his own life. Law enforcement sources investigating social media accounts believed to be associated with the shooter. It includes a video posted earlier today on YouTube. Sources familiar with the matter told ABC News. That video reportedly shows someone flipping through dozens of pages of notes, which include what appears to be drawings of weapons and one drawing depicting the inside of a church with pews. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz in a recent post says the city is heartbroken and also added, hug your kids close. Earlier, the governor spoke with President Trump by phone about the shooting. Yesterday's protests in Israel drew huge crowds, blocking roads and demanding the end to the war in Gaza and return of remaining Hamas-held hostages.
A huge day of demonstrations across Israel. More than 350,000 people taking to the streets. Some blocking off major roads outside Tel Aviv, demanding an end to the war. Families of the hostages in Gaza are angry that a deal to get them out has yet to materialize.
The Transportation Department is taking a larger role in the day-to-day operations at Washington, D.C.'s Union Station. The DOT has always owned the station, which is the main Amtrak station for the area. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says his agency wants it back under control for some commercial projects. You're listening to ABC News.
Time now for the KSL In-Depth. Parts of northern Utah are under a flood advisory right now. We've already seen some intense road flooding this morning in Ogden. Joining me now live is Christine Cruz, lead meteorologist with the National Weather Service. Thank you so much for being with me.
Thank you for having me.
So what are the areas of biggest concern right now?
So right now we are seeing the heaviest rain is in Weber County. As you said, there was some road flooding in North Ogden and Ogden. That rain has largely come to an end in that area. We're still seeing those elevated amounts of water in places that were flooding earlier. We're going to see additional showers and thunderstorms forming across northern Utah this afternoon. The highest threat is likely, though, south of the areas that received the heavy rain this morning.
How has the weather been impacting our state's wildfires and burn scar areas?
So for the burn scars, we haven't had any debris flows with this monsoon surge thus far that we've been made aware of. It's actually been very good to see all of this heavy rain to really moisten up those fuels across the state.
So that's helping with the wildfires.
Yes.
So is this going to continue?
So today and into tomorrow will be the end of this monsoon surge, and then we'll see a lot of drying Friday into the weekend. It won't be as much coverage tomorrow as we've been seeing. It'll be a little bit drier, but we'll still see some threat of heavy rain tomorrow across the state.
But it sounds like it's going to be nice for Labor Day.
Yes. Nice if you don't want precipitation.
Oh, that's true. A lot of people do love the wet weather, and I love it. We need it for sure. But when you're out recreating, not so fun.
Right. I mean, it looked more like the Pacific Northwest out there today than Utah.
It certainly did. Thanks so much, Christine.
Thank you.
Live on the KSL Newsline, that is Christine Cruz, lead meteorologist with the National Weather Service. Let's get you up to date on the drive, traffic, and weather. It's brought to you by Mountain America's My Style checking account. Ricky?
I think we've had some traffic lights malfunctioning in West Valley City, and it's a little difficult to tell other than there's been a lot of odd traffic trying to get through the intersection, but not doing it in an orderly fashion and flowing like you'd normally see it. It's anywhere around 3100, 3500 South, Bangerter Highway, 5600 West, Mountain View. So anytime you're approaching a dark intersection, use caution, treat it as a four-way stop, and you may see some backups in those areas. Right now, Valley Freeway traffic actually in good shape. Let's try to keep it that way. Overall, good speeds and no other problems on the freeways. Whether you park it, stripe it, or pave it, GoPave Utah has your blacktop covered at GoPaveUtah.com. That's GoPaveUtah.com. Call or visit GoPaveUtah.com. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast going for 78 today, scattered thunderstorms. 81 tomorrow, isolated storms. And Friday, partly cloudy with a 30% chance, 82 the high. Up to 84, mostly sunny on Saturday. Sunday's 87, mostly sunny, partly cloudy, and 90 on Labor Day. Tuesday after Labor Day, 89, mostly sunny. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
I don't know about you, but I'm just not used to these cooler temperatures. I know it's not that cool, but right now mostly cloudy, 73 degrees downtown. And the 7-day forecast is brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful. Quick check of the markets at this hour. Wow, seeing some great numbers. The Dow right now up by 164 points. Complete update of your money news is coming up next.
I didn't just lose 82 pounds in 16 weeks. I lost fear. I lost shame. I lost that nagging voice in my head that told me I couldn't do it. I thought weight loss meant being hungry or miserable. Soda showed me something different. I wasn't starving. I wasn't white-knuckling it throughout the day. I was learning. I was eating real food, texting my nutritionist when I had a question or hit a wall. People asked if I do it again, and I tell them I do it twice. Because when I got back, my energy, my focus, my sense of control, this isn't about fitting into skinny jeans. It's about showing up for life. Go to sodaweightloss.com. Click the Request Your Nutritionist callback. SOTA, it stands for State of the Art. SodaWeightLoss.com. You can do this. You know how I know you can do it? Man, I did it. And I like to eat. SodaWeightLoss.com.
Soda is, say it with me, state of the art.
A 15-year-old girl who chewed through a rope to escape a serial killer.
I used my front teeth to saw on the rope in my mouth.
The killer prowled the Pacific Northwest in the early 70s. He's been convicted of murdering 2 young women, but suspected of many more.
Maybe there's another one in that area.
Follow Stolen Voices of Dole Valley now, so you don't miss an episode.
You worked hard for your 401k, but if you've left your job, your money might be sitting in the wrong hands. I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and it's very possible that the 401k that you have had for years has hidden fees and limited investment choices. But if you're no longer with the company, that 401k may be at the mercy of your former employer. All of these things could be costing you thousands. Rolling over your 401k into an IRA can provide better investment options that align with your long-term goals. At Trajan Wealth, we're fiduciary advisors that are held to a higher standard with no hidden agenda and no hidden fees. Don't let your retirement dollars sit in an old plan, and don't roll it over to your new plan without consulting Trajan Wealth first. Call Trajan today at 801-899-7600. That's 801-899-7600.
Advisory services are offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Right now at S&S Roofing, get $1,000 off any roof replacement. Plus, you'll get their incredible 50-year worry-free warranty. Dial #250 and then say the keyword S&S Roofing for a free bid.
KSL News Time 1225. Low-dose radiation therapy is now being used in Utah to treat arthritis and other ailments. KSL News Radio's Tammy Kikuchi reports.
The treatment is new here, but it has been used in Europe for years. Dr. Leland Rogers, a physician at Jordan Valley Holy Cross Hospital, says the treatment is external and isn't designed to kill cells like radiation typically does. But it buys time and it saves money.
It decreases surgery, the need for surgery, or at least increases the time frame until surgery is needed, and decreases medication needs.
Dr. Rogers says there are no side effects from the treatment, and it works for ailments like plantar fasciitis, bursitis, and other non-cancerous but painful and degenerative conditions. Tammy Kikuchi, KSL News Radio.
Watching Utah's money, American Eagle shares are on the rise after announcing a partnership with Travis Kelce. You know, the guy engaged to Taylor Swift. Kansas City Chiefs star is launching a limited edition collaboration with his sportswear brand and American Eagle, pairing jeans with Kelce's picks of shirts and jackets. Yesterday, we told you about some of Apple's plans for future iPhones, and now we have a date. The iPhone 17 will be available September 9th. CNN reports the company is also expected to launch new Apple Watches. More fast food restaurants are branching out and opening stores in other countries. Chick-fil-A will be launching locations in Great Britain and Singapore later this year. It's the start of a decade-long $75 million investment in Asia. Taking a look at your money at this moment, the Dow is up by nearly 180 points, nearly 0.5%, sitting at 45,599. S&P 500 up by 21 points. The NASDAQ up more than 0.25%, up by 65 points. Waves of criticism have convinced Cracker Barrel to undo its plans for a rebrand. ABC's Rebecca Jarvis has the story.
Cracker Barrel cracking under pressure, abandoning their newly redesigned logo following backlash from loyal customers. The restaurant chain, known for its Southern-style cooking and comfort food, announcing that it will go back to its beloved old-timer logo featuring Uncle Herschel leaning on that barrel.
ABC's Rebecca Jarvis reporting.
Ticket packages for the Utah Mammoth 2025-26 season are available now. From full season and half season packages to mini plans and other flexible options, choose the ticket package that fits you best and be part of the action all season long. Call or text 801-325-PUCK to talk with a rep or visit nhl.com/Utah/tickets/season tickets to learn more.
Jeff Kaplan. When you're online, that's sometimes a source of fourth-hand information. Somebody does the reporting. Another website Googles, they find it, they rewrite it, and by the time you read it, you know the old game telephone. But KSL is a source of primary information. We have reporters on the street. They're out in the field finding out the details. And the difference between online and KSL News Radio, night and day.
Jeff Kaplan's Afternoon News, 3 to 7 on KSL News Radio.
Traffic and weather together. It's brought to you by Mountain America's My Style checking account. Let's check in again with Ricky Meese.
We've had a small accident in Utah County. This is in Provo on the southbound side of I-15, but it's already been moved out of traffic. It's really not even close to being a problem for drivers near the Center Street on-ramp. Again, look for that to the right shoulder. A KSL listener texting in and confirming, yes, the traffic lights are out in West Valley. I can see that they're a problem at 5600 West, at 3100, 3500 South, the same on Bangerter, as well as Mountain View. But anywhere in West Valley where traffic lights are not working, be very, very cautious trying to get through those intersections. Get a free ticket to Sharing Aloha through August with every Cinemark purchase of 2+ tickets. Use code ALOHA, all capital letters, at checkout. Limited number available. SharingAlohaTheMovie.com. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Monsoon moisture still in place today. Look for a high of 78 with scattered storms. Overnight, scattered thunderstorms possible, 64. 81 tomorrow, isolated storms, and then partly cloudy with a 30% chance on Friday. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
And right now, mostly cloudy in downtown Salt Lake City and 73 degrees.
You're listening to Midday with Maria Shilaos
on KSL News Radio, 102.7 FM and 1160 AM.
Good afternoon. KSL News Time, 1230. KSL's top story this hour. Today, the community of Tremont prepares to honor 2 fallen officers with a public viewing this afternoon. KSL News Radio's Eric Cabrera is live in Tremont with the details. Eric?
Maria, the doors of Bear River High School will open at 3 o'clock for the viewing of Officer Eric Estrada and Sergeant Lee Sorensen, 2 men remembered for their service and sacrifice. The viewing gives neighbors, friends, and community members a chance to gather, reflect, and thank the officers for their dedication. Retired Salt Lake City Police Chief Chris Bertram says this is especially a moment for the public.
The viewings, especially in this circumstance, are for the communities. They are set up in such a way that the members of the community that want to pay their respects to those officers can do that.
The public is invited to attend between 3 and 7 this evening. Organizers are asking people not to arrive before 3 to ease student pickup traffic and to refrain from filming while inside. Live in Tremont, Eric Cabrera, KSL News Radio.
Utah State University is now preparing to host thousands of extra people tomorrow and Friday for the funerals of the 2 fallen officers.
It's going to be chaotic.
Director of USU Parking and Transportation, Tracy Hulse, tells me the school hasn't hosted an event like this during school hours, at least since he's been there, but they have plans in place to help mitigate the impacts to students and faculty who'll need to get around campus. They're asking people who normally park right by the Spectrum to park in designated lots further to the east. Hulse says the Aggie shuttle will then be making runs through there to bring people to Central Campus. He thinks it won't take students more than an extra 5 minutes or so to get where they're going. As for school employees, he thinks,
I would certainly say it wouldn't hurt for anyone, student or faculty staff member, to plan, a good 10 or 15 minutes extra time in the morning.
Parking lots by the Spectrum are expected to open back up at 1 o'clock both tomorrow and Friday. Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
Brigham City says their police shifts will be covered by outside agencies for the next couple of days. They posted on Facebook that until Saturday morning, other law enforcement agencies will be helping in Brigham City so that their officers can attend the funeral services of Officer Estrada and Sergeant Sorensen. For all our coverage on the officer funerals, be sure to download the KSL News Radio app and opt in for push alerts. We'll be streaming them live tomorrow and Friday with our special coverage in the line of duty before and after. KSL's top national stories. Prosecutors in Washington, D.C. are finding it tough to convince grand jurors to approve felony charges against fellow residents who have been accused of assaulting police.
Sources say after being presented with the evidence, a federal grand jury here in D.C. was not persuaded to indict 37-year-old Sean Dunn on felony charges. Dunn was arrested by a phalanx of officers after he was seen throwing his deli sandwich at a federal agent. Prosecutors could try again with another grand jury, or they can pursue a misdemeanor charge. That's the path prosecutors have chosen against a woman they've accused of injuring an FBI agent during a protest last month. Attempts to secure an indictment against her failed 3 times.
ABC's Stephen Portnoy reporting. The Department of Transportation is taking a larger role in the day-to-day operations at Washington, D.C.'s Union Station. Transportation Department has always owned the station, which is the main Amtrak station for the area, but Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says his agency has the station back under its control for some of the commercial projects.
Union Station is frankly owned by DOT. We are going to take DOT from our partners back under DOT control, and we are going to make the investments to make sure that this station isn't dirty, that we don't have homelessness in Union Station.
Duffy says President Trump wants Union Station to be beautiful again, and he wants transit and the nation's capital to be safe again. Other national stories we are following this hour. Republicans in California are protesting a Democratic push to redraw California's congressional map in retaliation for Texas redrawing its map to favor Republicans. Now they're going as far as suggesting the state should be split into 2.
California's Assembly Republican leader James Gallagher says he is introducing a bill to split California into 2 states. One would be the coastal counties that are much more liberal, and the other would be much more conservative inland counties. While it will make headlines, the proposal is unlikely to gain traction in California's super Democratic-dominated legislature. There have been attempts by mainly Republicans for many years to break up California into 2 or more states, and the plans have never gone anywhere. Alex Stone, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Ogden has been chosen as the stateside home base for UK Film Festival and School Raid Dance.
The festival features films from around the world and has launched the careers of directors like Guy Ritchie and Christopher Nolan. Creative Development Director Dawn Hopner says part of what drew them towards Ogden is their commitment to growing an arts district.
To us, that's exciting because we want a community that we can grow with and that we can combine what we have and make it stronger.
She says the first festival is planned for March 2027, but as soon as next summer, they will be holding classes and events for the community. Brianna Willis, KSL News Radio.
First look traffic, here's Ricky Meese.
A lot of dark clouds still hanging over the valley. Be prepared for wet driving conditions at any time. We do have traffic lights that aren't quite working in the West Valley area on 3100 South at Bangerter, 5600 West, and Mountain View. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL News Time, 1236.
Utah deserves better. If you just got a quote on a new furnace or air conditioner and felt like they were pushing you into something big and expensive, you're not the only one. A lot of home service companies here in Utah aren't really local anymore. They've been bought out by private equity groups focused on profits, not people. Here at Your Service Pros, we're different. We're Utah-based, family-owned, and built on trust, not sales quotas. We offer free second opinions on repairs or replacement because most people just want to know the truth. If your system can be repaired, we'll gladly fix it. But if it needs to be replaced, we'll show you your options, including a hybrid system with up to $6,650 in total rebates. We'll make sure you're getting the best price possible, not some inflated quote so our investors can get richer. At Your Service Pros has served Utah homeowners for over 20 years, and we're proud to have a 4.9-star rating from families just like yours. So call At Your Service Pros today at 801-YOUR-PRO. If you need a free second opinion on your heating, air, plumbing, or electrical, call 801-YOUR-PRO. Because Utah deserves better.
The Social Security Administration just announced they are now projected to run out of money 1 year earlier than expected. Benefits could be cut by as much as 23%, and the average person could lose more than $100,000 in lifetime income. This news could significantly change when you file for Social Security. Discover how you could get every penny out of your benefits with a free Social Security analysis from Boss Retirement Solutions. If you've saved more than $300,000 and have not filed for Social Security, schedule your free analysis now by calling 801-896-9622. This free, customized analysis could help you get every penny out of Social Security. Call 801-896-9622. That number again, 801-896-9622.
Boss Retirement Solutions is not affiliated with the Social Security Administration.
Find incredible end-of-summer savings at the Scandinavian Designs Labor Day sale. For a limited time, save up to 70% off designs for every room in your home at the Ogden or Murray showrooms or ScandinavianDesigns.com.
Thank you for joining us for Midday, recapping our top story. There's a public viewing at Bear River High School in Tremont today for the 2 officers who were killed last week. This is ahead of their funerals on Thursday and Friday. KSL News Time, 1238. The spending habits of every public college and university president in Utah will now be audited after the Utah State University president was accused of misusing taxpayer funds. KSL News Radio's Alexandria Bonilla reports.
The Utah System of Higher Education Commissioner Jeffrey Landward says they'll conduct an independent investigation at the same time lawmakers look into the presidential spending at USU.
And seeing if there's a gap in statewide policy that already exists versus the concerns that are coming up in this audit. If we identify a gap where statewide policy is necessary, we're going to address that through the Board of Higher Education.
But the agency will be handling future audits for the state's 8 traditional public institutions. Landward says it's an opportunity for them to implement better practices because right now there are very few policies in place for a president's spending. Alexandria Bonilla, KSL News Radio.
Utah's governor wants to see a tougher cell phone ban in schools. KSL News Radio's Randall Jepson has more.
Utah lawmakers passed a bill saying kids cannot use their cell phones in schools during class time. But Governor Spencer Cox, on a post on X, he says that's a nice step, but it was a mistake not to pass a full-day bell-to-bell ban. He says evidence shows without a full school day cell phone ban, We risk damaging kids more and falling behind other states.
When lawmakers debated the school cell phone ban, there were parents and lawmakers who said that they want to be able to reach their kids during school, just not during class time. New data finds the increase of luxury rental apartments is quickly reducing the number of affordable places to live. KSL News Radio's Heather Kelly has details.
Multifamily housing, like apartments, fourplexes, or condos, are considered less expensive than single-family homes. New research from housing website Redfin finds Salt Lake City is building fewer affordable units now than before the pandemic, with 53% fewer cheap apartments on the market. The higher price to buy land, building supplies, and labor costs are being partially blamed for higher rent prices, along with the trend for upscale furnishings in newer apartments. Heather Kelly, KSL News Radio.
Traffic and weather together. It's brought to you by Mountain America's My Style checking account. And here's Ricky Meese.
I can tell that some of the traffic lights are working again in West Valley, at least what I can see on 5600 West at 3100 South. So that's good news. Again, just a reminder, anytime you approach an intersection where the traffic light is malfunctioning, just do so with caution. Valley Freeway traffic rolling along and looking good with no other problems. Traffic's rough, but your parking lot doesn't have to be. GoPave Utah keeps things smooth with expert asphalt maintenance at GoPaveUtah.com. That's GoPaveUtah.com. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Hey, how about a high of only 78 degrees today? Scattered thunderstorms are possible. 64 overnight, isolated storms. 81 tomorrow, isolated showers into Thursday afternoon. Friday, 30% chance for a shower, 82 the high. We continue to dry into Labor Day weekend. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Mostly cloudy and 73 degrees downtown. Coming up on midday, Salt Lake County is getting a new sober living facility to help people transition from substance use and mental health crisis. We'll talk to the facility's president. That's coming up, streaming live at KSLNewsRadio.com and on the app for KSL News Radio. We are Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
For nearly 70 years, Les Olson IT has been the trusted name for businesses. From state-of-the-art printers and copiers to managed IT services, we have the solutions you need to stay ahead in today's world. And now Les Olson IT is trusted and licensed in Utah for security systems, for technology that helps you work smarter. Les Olson IT, providing solutions that empower your business. Les Olson IT.
Hi, this is Doug Wright. For years now, I've been telling you about Connecticut soft water systems that use 2/3 less salt than the others. But I've never told you exactly how they do that. Well, there are several ways, so consider this as part one in a series. Most of the softeners out there use a finicky, hard-to-adjust computer to guesstimate when to cycle, and it errs on the side of cycling too often, which means it'll burn through way too much salt way too soon. Connecticut is different. It has an all-mechanical system that measures the water precisely. No computer, no guesstimating, so it cycles only when needed. The result, Connecticut delivers perfectly soft water 24/7 using minimal salt. So why not save your lower back from carrying the 3 bags of salt when all you need is 1? Call Northern Utah's authorized Connecticut dealer, Connecticut Quality Water Systems of Salt Lake. Call them now, 801-576-8600, or log on to softwaterutah.com and tell them Doug sent you.
The Salt Lake Chamber is Utah's voice for business. Okay, that sounds great, but what does it really mean? Well, as Utah's largest and longest standing business association, they support and champion community prosperity throughout the state. And if you're in business, well, that's a very good thing for you. Be sure to listen to the Chamber's Speaking on Business, weekdays at 7:20, 11:55, and 5:20 p.m. on KSL News Radio.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back?
back. If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code POWER to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code POWER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code POWER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
KSL News Time 1245. The three things you need to know this hour. First,
The Utah System of Higher Education will be conducting its own internal audits of the state's public colleges and universities. It comes after the former Utah State President was found to be misusing taxpayer money. I'm KSL News Radio's Alexandria Bonilla.
Second, officials in Logan and Tremont are preparing for the funerals of the two officers who were killed in the line of duty. Their funerals tomorrow and Friday will be streaming live on KSL News Radio. Third, traffic and weather together, Ricky.
We are enjoying a crash-free commute on our valley freeways and our main secondaries. We have had just a little bit of busy traffic southbound I-15 from the downtown area to the I-80 201 junction, but no major delays. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Highs only topping in the 70s today with a chance for storms. I'm Matt Johnson.
Some light rain in downtown Salt Lake City, 73 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Time now for KSL's top national story.
This is a special report from ABC News. I'm Michelle Franzen. In Minneapolis, 2 children are dead and 18 others injured after a mass shooting at the Annunciation Catholic School today. Police say the gunman was armed with a shotgun, rifle, and pistol and opened fire as students were attending Mass at church. Police Chief Brian O'Hara says it was marking the first week of school.
During the Mass, a gunman approached on the outside, on the side of the building, and began firing a rifle through the church windows towards the children sitting in the pews at the Mass.
Authorities are now searching the shooter's background, and a source tells ABC News that includes a YouTube video posted before the shooting. President Trump spoke with Minnesota Governor Tim Walz earlier, offering condolences. The White House says the president has ordered U.S. flags be lowered to half-staff until Sunday at federal buildings, military posts, and embassies abroad in honor of the victims. This is ABC News.
Time now for the KSL In-Depth. Today, Salt Lake County and Odyssey House are celebrating the opening of their new sober living facility in Murray. Joining me now live is Odyssey House President Adam Cohen. Adam, thanks for being with me.
Great to be here. Thank you.
Tell us about the need for this in the community.
The need is tremendous, and we have waiting lists to get into transitional housing and treatment, and this really will alleviate some of that pressure to get people out of acute levels of care into community-based settings.
Describe for us how this facility will help.
Yeah, so what happens here is people who have been in residential treatment for substance use disorder or a mental health condition will have learned the skills in that setting, in the residential setting, and then they will transition out to a setting like this where they can practice the new skills that they have in a community-based setting while still having the wraparound care that Odyssey House provides.
Yeah, describe for us where the money for this kind of operation comes from.
Yeah, this was a tremendous cooperation between Salt Lake County and then the legislature appropriated some funds to purchase the building, and then there's ongoing funds from both the legislature and Salt Lake County for people to receive vouchers to live in this setting.
Yeah.
So it's a really, really tremendous partnership between the county, the state, and Odyssey House.
Yeah, how does this support the state's and the county's goals?
Yeah, so this is one of the major issues in Salt Lake County, to be able to get people who are homeless, suffering from substance use disorder or mental health conditions into treatment, and this will then be part of the continuum of care, going from acute patient beds to lower levels of care, and get them to transition more slowly so they have sustained gains over time.
Any idea how many people can be helped with this facility?
Yeah, so the facility will house 20 people at any given time, and we anticipate that we will be able to serve about 55 people a year.
All right, appreciate your help. Thank you so much for being with me.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Live on the KSL Newsline, that is Odyssey House President Adam Cohen. Let's get you up to date on the drive. Traffic and weather brought to you by Mountain America's My Style checking account. And here's Ricky Meese.
We've had some wet roads throughout parts of the valley. Some areas are drying out completely, others not so much. And if you're traveling I-15, we have had some busy traffic, and it could be either direction between the downtown exit and the I-80 201 junction. No accidents on your Salt Lake County freeways, and the one crash we had in Utah County pretty much in the cleanup stages at the on-ramp from Center Street, Provo to southbound I-15. Common Spirit hospitals, clinics, and caregivers, all connected to advanced health care in Colorado, Kansas, and Utah. Healthcare with human kindness is here. Hello, human kindness. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL 7-day forecast, starting out active, finishing quiet. 78 today, scattered thunderstorms. Tomorrow, isolated storms, 81. By Friday, partly cloudy, 30% chance for a pop-up shower, 82. You head into Labor Day weekend, dry. Saturday, 84, 87 Sunday, Monday, 90, mostly sunny and 89 on Tuesday. From the KSL Weather Center, I'm Matt Johnson.
Mostly cloudy, 73 degrees in downtown Salt Lake City, and the 7-day forecast is brought to you by Performance Automotive Bountiful. Quick check of the markets at this hour. The Dow, boy, it's getting close to being up 200 points right now. We'll get you a complete update of your money news coming up next. You know, before I started to lose weight with the help of Salt Lake City Fat Loss, I had really tried for years to lose weight, but without a plan, and I just got more and more frustrated with my inability to lose weight. If you're one of those folks out there that says, hey, I just can't lose weight, you owe it to yourself to at least give Salt Lake City Fat Loss a call and find out what they can do for you. I thought that. I've lost more than 40 pounds with this natural program. It's all natural, no injections, no surgeries, no medication, no side effects, and it boosts your metabolism with just a simple combination of foods. And it's really easy to follow with great resources to help keep you accountable. You can save $200 right now. Find out more with a free virtual consultation at slcfatloss.com, or you can call them at 801-450-1882. Wouldn't it be great to lose up to a pound per day? That's what many of their clients lose. Just go to slcfatloss.com, slcfatloss.com.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Progressive knows we all crave validation.
Girl, you are not 37.
I would have guessed 27.
You guys are too sweet.
Sure, dewy skin. Terrific.
Is something wrong, Ned?
Why would you ask? Just because today marks my 10th anniversary without a car accident or even a speeding ticket? But somehow, tonight's all about your skincare.
Wow.
With Snapshot from Progressive, you can get a personalized rate based on how you drive. And that's all the validation you need. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents. Surcharge possible for unsafe driving.
1-877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids. 1-877 Cards for Kids. Donate your card today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate your car today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car, running or not, can be picked up as soon as the next day. You'll get a maximum tax deduction and a vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Getting help with plumbing repairs is easier than you think. All you have to do is call Any Hour Services or schedule an appointment at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
KSL News Time, 12:54. The State Health Department is still monitoring wastewater for diseases, and they are seeing a spike of COVID cases. KSL News Radio's Josue Sanchez Sanchez has more.
According to the Department of Health and Human Services, the number of COVID cases is rising in Utah. Wastewater Surveillance Manager Nathan LaCrosse says this is not unexpected, and we can expect to see the numbers to keep going up.
Schools are going to be reconvening in the very near future. That could very easily kind of jumpstart additional spread and transmission as more children are getting together in an enclosed space.
LaCrosse says while the spread is not fast, people should still be cautious.
Really be cautious around large gatherings of people, especially people where you don't know how careful they're being, because maybe they're not going to be terribly affected, but they could spread it to you, and maybe you would be.
Josue Sanchez, KSL News Radio.
Watching Utah's money, AT&T plans to buy key wireless spectrum licenses from EchoStar in a $23 billion deal. CNN reports the hope is to boost the network in a competitive market. Shares of EchoStar increased 40% after that news. WNBA star Caitlin Clark is the newest face of Nike. The 23-year-old is the company's latest signature athlete. She has an upcoming collection coming out in 2026. It will include T-shirts, hoodies, shorts, pants, and shoes. Dairy Queen is celebrating 85 years of blizzards and treats. This next month, DQ Rewards members can get 85-cent small blizzards. It's also just in time for the fall menu. Anyone can join the rewards program for free. Taking a look at your money at this moment, the Dow now up by 182 points, sitting at 45,600. S&P is up by 19. The NASDAQ gets up by 51 points. KSL News Time, 12:56.
Everyone needs a checking account, so get the one with built-in benefits to complement your unique lifestyle. Mountain America's My Style Checking has perks no one can pass up. You'll enjoy sizzling restaurant deals, peace of mind mobile phone protection, timely telehealth access, built-in identity protection, and clutch loan rate discounts. Make My Style your lifestyle at Mountain America Credit Union. Visit macu.com/mystyle. Insured by NCUA. Membership required based on eligibility. Some benefits require no cost registration or activation. Terms, conditions, and exclusions apply.
What's up? I'm Phil Briggs, here from my friends at Navy Federal Credit Union. Whether you're looking to buy a new or used car, or maybe just want to refinance your current loan, Navy Federal Credit Union has great rates on auto loans. You can apply via their mobile app or online, and in most cases get a decision in seconds. So get a great car and great rates with Navy Federal Credit Union. Credit and collateral subject to approval, rates subject to change, and are based on credit worthiness. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA, and you can learn more at NavyFederal.org/auto.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Respiratory virus season is quickly approaching, meaning we'll see more flu, COVID, and RSV in our community. The good news is vaccines are available that will help prevent these infections and keep people healthy. For flu and COVID, everyone aged 6 months and older are recommended to be vaccinated to help protect ourselves and our families against serious illness. Fall remains the best time to be vaccinated. Respiratory viruses circulate year-round, but peak late fall through winter. Your doctor can recommend which vaccines are best for you and your family.
Brought to you by Intermountain Health and KSL News Radio.
Traffic and weather together brought to you by Mountain America's My Style checking account. Here's Ricky Meese.
A new crash in West Valley City, and this is actually where we had traffic lights malfunctioning a little earlier. Northbound Bangor Highway after 3500 South, so about 3100 South at the pedestrian overpass, and it looks like they are blocking at least 2 left lanes of travel. Valley Freeway traffic in the valley still in good shape with no problems. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
And taking a look at the forecast for the Wasatch Front, we are not done with those showers yet. Still a 90% chance of showers today, 50% chance tomorrow. Then that chance of showers decreasing down to the 20% range for Friday. We're looking at highs closer to 80 degrees. Kind of a shock to the system today. We're not even going to get to 80. The high expected to be about 78 degrees. Tomorrow, though, back up into that 80-degree range. 81 tomorrow, 82 for Friday. And then for the holiday weekend, it looks like by Monday, we're going to be back up to 90 degrees for a high. And just a very slight chance of showers over the weekend. Right now, 73 degrees downtown.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Devastation in Minnesota today. 2 children killed, 17 others hurt in a school shooting at a Catholic school.
During the Mass, a gunman approached on the outside, on the side of the building, and began firing a rifle through the church windows towards the children sitting in the pews at the Mass.
The time is 1 o'clock on Wednesday, August 27th. It's midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. Coming up, we'll get a live update on the situation and what we're learning about the victims. Plus, the message from Catholic leaders here in Utah as they respond to this tragic news. Also this hour,
there is a potential of landslide or land movement is what I'll say.
Heavy rain in the North Ogden region bringing added concerns to those living near the Willard Peak fire burn scar. We'll check in on the weather conditions this hour. But first, our top stories. The Utah System of Higher Education will be conducting internal audits on the state's public colleges and universities after a legislative committee suggested lawmakers take a deeper look into how the Utah State University president spent taxpayer money. She was found to be using hundreds and thousands of dollars on luxury items like golf carts and cars. Commissioner Jeffrey Landward says they'll allow the Board of Trustees to take a look at the audits.
We want to keep the Board of Higher Education from micromanaging the institutions, and so we want to make sure that the trustees are empowered to address these concerns if it makes sense more at the institutional level. So we'll be looking at that closely.
Landward says they'll handle them for now, but it could prompt them to propose legislation regarding presidential spending later. Our top national story this hour from ABC News. 2 children, ages 8 and 10, were killed, 17 others injured after a suspect opened fire at a Catholic school in Minneapolis this morning. Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara says the shooter mainly fired at the church windows from outside.
There were dozens of children inside the Mass at the time. I don't have an exact count. The children have been relocated into the school, which is where their families are reunifying with them.
Police say the shooter is dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. ABC's Alex Stone will join us live with the latest on this story in just a few minutes. Other national stories KSL is following. The federal government is reasserting its control of Washington's Union Station.
The move would have the Transportation Department managing D.C.'s train station, sidelining a private redevelopment corporation and Amtrak, which have been jointly running it. Union Station suffered a significant retail exodus in the pandemic from which it hasn't fully recovered. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says his department will focus on improving the safety and cleanliness of the historic station, which is owned by the federal government.
ABC's national correspondent Stephen Portnoy. Taking a look at your money at this moment, the Dow is up by 177 points, sitting at 45,595. S&P 500, it's up by 18, and the NASDAQ, it's up by 46 points. Traffic and weather brought to you by Mountain America's My Style checking account, and here's Ricky Meese.
A new accident in Utah County, southbound I-15 at Main Street, Spanish Fork, really doesn't seem to be causing a problem, but where we do have lanes blocked due to a crash, that's in West Valley. This is northbound Bangerter Highway 3100 South, left lanes blocked at that intersection. No matter the weather, your feet can feel fantastic. Find the Good Feet location nearest you at goodfeet.com. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Still a good chance of showers across the Wasatch Front today, decreasing to 50% tomorrow. Today's high 78, 73 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
Mornings are for recharging.
And they're for starting your day right.
We volunteer to join you in the car. Get news and weather at 102.7 FM during the most important part of your day.
Andy and Amanda, each morning between 5 and 9 on KSL News Radio.
Getting help with electrical repairs is easier than you think. All you have to do is call Any Hour Services or schedule an appointment at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
Worried about market losses? If headlines are keeping you up at night, it's time to take control. Hi, I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and I know you've worked hard to save. But in times like these, what if can turn into what now? If you're planning to retire or are in retirement, you need a strategy that helps protect your future. At Trajan Wealth, you can capture market gains, protect your account from losses, and guarantee income for life. Right now, you could receive a bonus bonus of up to 30% or annual growth of up to 10% for retirement income. You heard me right. An upfront bonus of up to 30% or annual growth of up to 10%, all guaranteed to boost your lifetime income in retirement. Don't leave your future to chance. Plan with confidence. Call Trajan today at 801-899-7600. That's 801-899-7600.
Annuity guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company, DBA, in most states as Trajan Wealth Insurance Solutions.
Thanks for tuning into Midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. An 8-year-old and a 10-year-old shot and killed today at a Catholic school in Minneapolis. 17 others, including 14 children, injured. The devastation coming during a mass service that marked the first week of school. Joining me live for the latest updates, ABC's Alex Stone. Alex, what can you tell us about today's tragic events?
Well, Maria, just a terrible morning in Minneapolis. It was around 8:30 this morning when police say that the calls began coming into 911. It was an active shooter call at the Catholic school, and police say when they arrived, they immediately knew it was not a hoax. It was not swatting, which so many schools and institutions have been victims of in the last week, in a spree of swatting calls. They knew this was not that. Listen to Clarissa Garcia. She was in the school, in the church when the shooting unfolded.
And I heard something like really loud, like I thought it was fireworks in the church. And then I saw the shooting, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so scared. And so a teacher lead me downstairs to the preschool classroom. And so I went there, and me and my friend Cece were just praying, and then we went outside. We were just waiting there, and then we went to somebody's house to be safe.
Maria, police say the shooter was a man in his 20s, wearing all black. He had a rifle, a shotgun, and a pistol from outside of the church. He shot children who were sitting in the pews through the windows. They say he intentionally shot the children who were in those pews. They were in a service to mark the first week back at school, as you'd mentioned, and the shooter had apparently barricaded the doors on the side of the building that he was shooting from so people could not escape, that there was plywood across those doors. And we know in total there are 18 that are injured. 14 of those are children, plus the 8-year-old and the 10-year-old who were killed. Some are critically injured. The shooter killed himself. But police are now looking for the motive and looking through his vehicle. They're looking at social media. We've learned it appears that he posted a video earlier today flipping through pages of notes and drawings of weapons, a drawing showing the inside of that church with pews that he had drawn. So that'll all be part of this. But the investigation just now getting going.
Alex, do we know any more about the condition of those who were injured?
We know some from the hospitals. They went to numerous different hospitals. Several are critically injured. There are 3 adults. The rest are all children. Others have less severe injuries. We're about to get an update here shortly from police. We know of the 2 children who had died, but among those who are critically injured, our last word, they are alive, but they're in hospitals right now.
All right, Alex, appreciate your help on this. That's ABC's Alex Stone joining me live for the latest on the Catholic school shooting in Minneapolis. And thanks again, Alex, and we will bring you that update as soon as it happens here on KSL News Radio. Clarissa Garcia, who we heard from during Alex's report, her mother, Suzanne Garcia, giving a parent's perspective.
I just saw the kids exiting, so it's almost like a little parade of kids, and just yelling at my daughter, saying, Clarissa, where are you, where are you? And one of her classmates said, she's here, and so I was able to find her within that line, and then they ushered us to the basement and then the auditorium.
Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey speaking about the horror and the evil of the shooting.
There are no words that can capture the horror and the evil of this unspeakable act. Every one of us needs to be wrapping our arms around these families, giving them every ounce that we can muster. I'm so deeply saddened and I'm so sorry to the families that I know are suffering right now. My ask is to everyone, stand by them.
People are grieving nationwide because of this tragedy, including here in Utah. Last hour, I spoke to Father John Evans, Vicar General for the Diocese of Salt Lake City, to get his thoughts on this devastating act of violence.
Hearing this news, it's an absolutely heartbreaking situation that's obviously unfolded over in Minneapolis. I mean, nobody ever wants to see anything like this. Nobody ever wants to hear of anything like this. And unfortunately, it happens all too often.
Are Catholic schools like these associated with the church, or are they independently operated?
It varies, but almost always, the majority of our Catholic schools across the nation belong to a parish, meaning they're a ministry of the parish. And so there's a parish that's, the worshiping families, local community, and the school is just an extension of that. I'm not certain in this case of the School of the Annunciation there, whether it's independent or not, but it's probably belonging to a parish.
Do you have any connections with the Annunciation Church or any members that do have some sort of connection?
Not that I'm not from Minneapolis. I've not been there to that church before, so I have no connection to it at all. I'm not sure of anybody here that has a connection to it, but it's a Catholic church, so we're connected in that sense. But whether it was a public school or Catholic school, we're connected in the human family. What parent, wants to experience this? Nobody wants this for any of our children in our community across the country. So connected more directly or not, it just pulls at your heart because you don't want to see or hear of these things happening, and you certainly don't want to experience it.
Yeah, I don't remember another time when this has happened at a Catholic school.
I'm not aware of any others at a Catholic schools. It may have happened. We have so many violent intruder situations that happen across the country. It wouldn't surprise me if it's happened in other Catholic schools. We don't just hear about it all the time, but here and there, public or private, religious or not, these are children. These are innocent children, and these things just shouldn't be happening.
Are there people here in Utah that are doing anything to help or come together to pray for these families?
I just got out of a meeting 30 minutes ago when I got your phone call to check in with you, but I imagine there'll be a lot of prayer going on, across the whole state. The reality, I actually want to invite people to pray for these families that are grieving, pray for better solutions. We need to invite people to get involved civically in their communities with their access to their politicians and representatives. We need better involvement to address gun violence and mental illness and crime. We certainly can pray, but we also need to act in ways that we're able and we have access to. So I want to encourage and invite everybody to that too.
That is Father John Evans, the Vicar General for the Catholic Diocese of Salt Lake City. We are standing by. We are expected to get another update from Minnesota on this school shooting. We will continue to track the tragedy and bring you any additional details both here on air and online at kslnewsradio.com. Midday continues with a look at today's rain and flooding in just 60 seconds.
Not every victory has fireworks. Sometimes it's a quiet win, like tying your shoes without gasping, walking upstairs without pausing, or being able to sit cross-legged on the floor and play with your kids. That's what soda gave me. I lost 82 pounds in just 16 weeks. And with it went the weight, the aches, the excuses. But what I gained, confidence, energy, time, and a version of myself I thought was long gone. Soda didn't overwhelm me with rules or leave me starving. I ate real food. I learned what my body needed. And the personal nutritionist, game changer. They were there with answers, encouragement, and real solutions. If you're looking for your own quiet win, this is your moment. If it worked for me, it will work for you. Go to sodaweightloss.com, click the request a nutritionist callback. It's time, you can do it. sodaweightloss.com. SOTA, sodaweightloss.com.
Soda is, say it with me, state of the art.
At Social Security, we are always thinking of ways to save you time and make things easier.
That's why we created My Social Security. A My Social Security account allows you to access your earnings history and benefits information, request a replacement Social Security card, get a proof of income letter, estimate and apply for benefits, and more. Save time. Go online. Open a My Social Security account at ssa.gov/myaccount. Social Security. Securing today and tomorrow.
Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
A flood advisory for parts of northern Utah has just been extended until 3 o'clock, indicating that there's still a danger for flooding along areas affected by the burn scar in North Ogden. Several communities in the area have been offering free sandbags for residents who want to be prepared. We will hear from a few residents in just a few minutes, but first, let's bring in KSL 5 TV's Daniel Woodruff for the latest on the weather up in that neck of the woods. And Daniel, you've been in the area tracking the storm, and what have you seen?
Yeah, Maria, we've kind of been all over, and it has rained on and off this morning since when we have gotten here, but we're now in far west in northern Utah, and that is an area that has really been hit hard. We're in a neighborhood right now that has water all over the streets, several feet of water. I've talked to some residents here whose basements were flooded, and they said that this water just came down with a vengeance this morning when they got several inches of rain. And the mayor here in Far West tells me that their stormwater system is at capacity, and therefore you get some areas like where we are, where you've just got several feet of water waiting to recede. Now, it has gone down a little bit in the last couple hours, but there's still quite a bit of water that needs to move on through the system once it has capacity, and it's just waiting for the backups to kind of subside there.
We know that there is concern around the Willard Peak fire burn scar. What have officials told residents in that area to do?
We actually haven't been up to the burn scar yet, and that's because we've kind of been busy with some of this western area where they've been hit with floods. And so I know that's a concern because you had that Willard Peak fire that burned a couple of weeks ago, and it has obviously a lot of area that could be impacted by water coming down. I did note a video that one of our staffers sent us who lives up here, and you could see the area of the burn scar and water just rushing down it very quickly. But at this point, I have not seen yet any reports of flooding or anything like that from anything that has come into us here at KSL. But yeah, a lot of water coming down fast, and kind of depends on the community you're in what type of impact it had. The public works director here also told me that he's heard of other communities around Far West similar to what they're experiencing, where the water just overwhelmed the system, and now they've got to wait for it to recede in some parts.
People can see more tonight on Channel 5.
Yeah, we'll have coverage throughout the afternoon, KSL 5 News at 5 o'clock and 6.
Thank you so much. KSL 5 TV's Daniel Woodruff live in Weber County. The heavy rain and flooding comes after the area experienced a wildfire just a few weeks ago. The burn scar from the Willard Peak fire making flooding there even worse. Ogden resident Gavin Hendrickson says that folks there have been preparing for whatever comes next.
I think all of our heads have been on a swivel, and it's really brought our community closer. Everyone's just been watching out for one another. We've been on a text chain that has been just really encouraging. So a lot of good does come out of situations like that. But yeah, we're glad for the rain, but I'm just hoping that tomorrow will pass and those sandbags aren't needed.
Josh Sawyer of North Ogden shares a similar sense of cautious preparations for potential weather hazards.
They didn't say flooding. They did mention that there's potential for water to swiftly move down the mountain, and we want to mitigate that as much as we can. They also did mention that there is a potential of landslide or land movement is what I'll say. Here in this area, just around the corner here, there was a big slide back in the late 80s, early 90s. And so they put 7 stakes up on the mountainside, and they're GPS locking them, just tracking, making sure that they're not moving. And so they've been up regularly to just check each one of the stakes, and then if there's any movement, they'll let us know.
We will continue to track the rainy weather today and how the burn scar area could be affected by future storms as well. Make sure that you have downloaded both the KSL News Radio app and the KSL Weather app so that you can keep up to date on any and all changing weather conditions. The Federal Reserve is pushing back on President Trump's attempts to fire one of their board members. The latest on that in just a few minutes. But first, it's KSL Traffic. It's brought to you by Mountain America's My Style checking account. Ricky, before you get into the traffic, I want to tell you it was really something headed in to downtown Salt Lake City today.
Yeah.
That tractor trailer that jackknifed there on the ramp to I-80 by the airport there to go to I-80. Really, oh my gosh, I must have spent 20 minutes on the road.
Oh, yeah. And, 20 minutes when you're just sitting there feels like forever. But just think about those who have to wait longer, and we've had that before, I'm afraid. And no, we do feel for you. We want everybody to be safe. But again, when it's raining, be careful, especially at those ramps. Right now, we have fire crews on the scene of a vehicle fire in Midvale. This is after 7200 South and before 90th South, and they are over to the right shoulder, but it's caused a little bit of slower speeds in that area back to the South Interchange. Fill up your bucket list in Box Elder County. History, recreation, and wildlife. And excellent dining and shopping await you. Learn more at visitboxeldercounty.com. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
If you need new windows and you live in Utah, there's only one choice. There are other window companies, but they're more expensive and their windows aren't made in Utah for Utah's ever-changing climate. Advanced Window Products has been building state-of-the-art windows right here in Salt Lake for 39 years. And since they're the factory, they cut out the middleman and you save 30, even 40% on new windows. Plus, right now as they book for fall, Advanced Windows will give you $2,500 off on 10 windows or more. They build the windows, install the windows, and guarantee them for life. And since they're right here in Utah, if you have a problem years from now, just call them. They'll come over. Advanced Windows offers 0% financing, buy now, pay later. They're affordable. Get your new windows and get the energy savings before we get to winter. $2,500 off. Call them, 801-850-9100. That's 801-850-9100, or go to advancedwindows.com.
When you take your grandkids to Disney, do they know what's in your investment portfolio? Do they even care? They're busy having a great time, and you're busy making memories. At Galileo Wealth Management, we understand the nuts and bolts of retirement planning, our investments, the stock market, taxes, Social Security, Medicare, and more. But think about it. What are you trying to do here? Is your goal to beat the S&P? Or is your goal to make memories with your family? Our goal is to give you the confidence to spend in retirement without the fear of running out of money. Call Todd Kim at Galileo Wealth Management today, 801-516-3227. That's 801-516-3227, or go online to GalileoWealth.com. Let Todd Kim and Galileo Wealth Management help you make memories, not just money.
This Friday, join KSL News Radio and NPS from noon to 3 as the movie show stops by. Then, browse and uncover what makes NPS so great. With 4 locations, NPS takes a new inventory every day. Then, they check all competitors' retail pricing before marking items down 20 to 70% off. You're invited to visit the movie show this Friday from noon to 3. And that's the first step to discovering NPS. Visit npsstore.com to begin your own NPS adventure. npsstore.com.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer lets you easily compare direct rates from different insurance companies, so you can be confident you're getting the right one, even if it's not with Progressive. Way more confident than you were when you bought that TV in a parking lot. It just happened to not come in a box, or include a remote. And when you finally managed to turn it on, all it displayed was the menu of Grumpy's Tacos. So use Progressive's Auto Quote Explorer and be confident you're getting insurance that's right for you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
A 15-year-old girl who chewed through a rope to escape a serial killer.
I used my front teeth to saw on the rope in my mouth.
The killer prowled the Pacific Northwest in the early 70s. He's been convicted of murdering 2 young women, but suspected of many more.
Maybe there's another one in that area.
Follow Stolen Voices of Dole Valley now, so you don't miss an episode.
You are listening to Midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. We are streaming on the KSL News Radio app, sponsored by At Your Service Pros. The Federal Reserve continues to reassert its independence as President Trump attempts to fire one of the federal governors for cause. The Fed isn't saying whether or not board member Lisa Cook is still working at the agency, though. President Trump says Cook committed mortgage fraud, and Cook denies any and all wrongdoing. It's the latest move the president is making against the Federal Reserve, coming after threats that he'd fire Fed Chair Jerome Powell. ABC's Devin Dwyer says these moves are pretty unprecedented.
Never before in the Fed's history, since 1913, has anyone in the White House sought to remove the chairman or any members of the seven-member Board of Governors, much less issued an order like President Trump did. So this is uncharted territory. Congress created the Fed to make it independent, free from political interference, because, as the Fed itself said yesterday in a statement, the whole purpose of the central bank is to create stability for our economy, to look at the data and economic analysis and long-term interests, sort of free from influence, and help to make the right economic calls. Lisa Cook was one of the members tasked with that mission. She was appointed by President Biden in 2022. She was confirmed by the Senate, and she's the first African-American woman ever to serve on the Fed. And what has happened, Brad, is that she has been targeted by the Trump administration, specifically the director of the Federal Housing Finance Administration, a guy named Director William Pulte. Who's this guy? Not many people know about him, and he has started launching allegations against Cook on X, accusing her of mortgage fraud 4 years before she was appointed to the Fed. The evidence is not clear. There's very little of it, frankly, presented publicly by this Director Pulte.
What she did was bad, so I'll fire her if she doesn't resign.
And she's denied all allegations, but many people see this now as an attempted pretext for Trump's firing of Cook, because that is the reason he is giving publicly, and he did so yesterday.
She's in charge of, if you think about it, mortgages, and we need people that are 100% above board.
Pointing to these comments by a member of his administration, lobbying allegations that she's engaged in mortgage fraud.
Even though the president has said that Cook's been fired, Cook says she's not leaving her position. In her words, she says she will not be bullied out of the office. She's filing a lawsuit now challenging the dismissal, and Dwyer says she has some pretty solid footing for appealing the decision.
Congress created the Fed, as I said, to be insulated from politics. In the charter of the Fed and its Board of Governors, members can only be removed for cause. The Supreme Court earlier this year has sort of given a nod to that, saying the Fed is different than some of the other executive agencies like the Federal Trade Commission. Some of these independent agencies that Congress has created, the Fed is different. The Supreme Court has called it a quasi-independent agency with deep roots in our history to the first and second banks of the United States. So this is a body that's supposed to be pretty protected.
President Trump has fired several leaders in the past, leaders of agencies that are supposed to be independent, like the FBI. So where is the line, and why is the Fed so different?
Well, the line is the authority that the agency wields. And this conservative Supreme Court has allowed the president to remove people that were supposed to be insulated and protected from presidential removal. People like members of the National Labor Relations Board, the Merit Systems Protection Board, the Consumer Product Safety Commission. Those were created to be independent, but the president has removed people there. The Supreme Court has said he can do that. Why? Because the court has reasoned that those agencies exert some executive authority, some amount of power that comes with the White House. What the Supreme Court has implied is that the Federal Reserve doesn't exert executive authority. They are not acting under the power of the presidency. They are created by Congress as an independent body. And so I think that's sort of where the reasoning behind this protection against firings is coming from.
So where do we go from here?
Well, it's just in the early stages. So Cook has just now filed this lawsuit challenging her dismissal. She's vowing to stay on the job. It's not clear from the Fed. We've asked whether she is still at work. We assume that she is in some way. She's digging in. The president has made clear he is building a case and his team against her for an alleged violation for cause. But this is very quickly going to come to a head in federal courts, at least on the emergency basis, seeking an injunction against her removal. And that will likely land at the Supreme Court. And the justices, perhaps by the end of the year, will have to come up with some sort of a rationale for how they're going to decide whether or not she can be removed.
ABC's Devin Dwyer speaking about the president's firing of a Federal Reserve board member and the question over whether he has a constitutional authority to do so. It's 1:30 midday at KSL News Radio. I'm Maria Shilaos. Some of the stories we are watching this hour. Labor Day weekend is quickly approaching, signaling the end of summer. We have a look at the busy travel, plus some of the best shopping deals for the holiday. As the weather changes and your joints start to ache, a new radiation treatment might give your arthritis some relief. And KSL traffic, Ricky.
We do have a crash with emergency crews on the scene in Ogden, Harrison Boulevard and 42nd Street. Maria?
KSL's top local stories in 1 minute. First, ABC News.
This is a special report from ABC News. I'm Michelle Franzen. In Minneapolis, an 8- and 10-year-old are dead and 17 others injured following a mass shooting at a Catholic school. Police Chief Brian O'Hara says the heavily armed gunman shot through windows of the church during Mass.
This worship service was marking the first week of school for children that are attending the Annunciation Catholic School.
Police say the shooter died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Law enforcement sources now investigating the background and social media accounts believed to be associated with the gunman. Here's ABC's Olivia Rubin.
A YouTube video that was posted on the platform earlier today. That video shows an individual flipping through pages of notes. Those notes include what appear to be drawings of guns and including also the drawing of an inside of a church.
President Trump has ordered flags at federal and government facilities be flown at half staff. This is ABC News.
KSL's top local story. There is a public viewing from 3 to 7 today in Tremont for the 2 officers killed in the line of duty. And preparations are underway at Utah State University as the school plans to hold funerals for the fallen officers both tomorrow and Friday.
The school's planning to host thousands more people than they normally do during school hours, meaning getting around campus will be a little bit harder, but
we feel like we've come up with a good solution.
Director of USU Parking and Transportation Tracy Holst tells me they're moving students and faculty who normally park right by the Spectrum to lots further east. Then they can take the Aggie shuttle to Central Campus. They're also just asking anyone heading to campus tomorrow or Friday mornings to plan a little extra time to get around. And Holst says at the end of the day, he hopes people in Logan appreciate the opportunity to honor 2 fallen heroes.
Yes, it might be inconvenient for a couple of days, but I would hope. I certainly feel like I feel honored to be able to help in a small way, and hopefully that sentiment is shared by most.
Adam Small, KSL News Radio.
A new report finds that there are 53% fewer affordable apartments for rent in Salt Lake than before the pandemic.
The research from the website Redfin says prices to buy land to build housing, the cost of labor, and more expensive building materials are causing developers to charge more for rent to cover their costs. It also mentions the trend for upscale furnishings in new units as a reason for higher prices.
KSL News Radio's Heather Kelly reporting. Other local stories KSL is following. Utah may be losing Sundance, but it's gaining Raindance. Raindance is a UK-based film festival that's been running for more than 30 years. Creative Development Director Don Hoppener says Ogden checked all their boxes for what they wanted in a U.S. edition.
You know, we want to embrace ourselves into a community. We want to be part of the community. And Ogden embraced that.
Raindance will also hold classes, workshops, and potentially open a charter school to support the city and state's creatives. Their first film festival will be March 2027. Taking a look at your money at this moment, the Dow up by 161 points, sitting at 45,578. S&P up by 15. The NASDAQ up by 32 points. Traffic and weather brought to you by Mountain America's My Style checking account. Any problem spots, Ricky?
We have a couple. One is in the Midvale area. It's the cleanup of an earlier vehicle fire southbound I-15 after 7200 south. It's over to the right shoulder, and it did cause a little bit of slowing in the area. In Summit County, a crash eastbound Highway 40 at the I-80 junction in Silver Creek, and that's been moved to the shoulder. And then for Weber County drivers, lanes are open. What's left of this crash is now over to the right shoulder. This is on Harrison Boulevard at 42nd Street. Officers are still at the scene. While you're planning your day, plan for comfort too with the Good Feet store. Find the location nearest you at goodfeet.com. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
The high today not even expected to hit 80, 78 for a high, 90% chance of showers decreasing to 50% tomorrow, 20% by Friday. 75 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
A reminder about the simplest way to get updated for your day.
Hit your KSL preset when you jump in the car, and we'll take care of the rest.
Hear key news updates and traffic reports.
Andy and Amanda from 5 to 9 in your car.
KSL News Radio at 102.7 FM.
Any Hour Services can make sure your AC keeps you cool this summer. Whether you need a tune-up, repair, or just a second opinion about replacing it, call Any Hour Services or visit anyhourservices.com.
Hi, this is Derek Overstreet, president of the New Millennium Group and co-host of Stop Working, Start Living with KSL News Radio. Can you imagine what your life would be like if you could retire 3 to 5 years earlier than you thought possible? The things you could do, the loved ones you could spend time with, the memories that you could create. That's what our team at the New Millennium Group does. We'll walk you through the entire process every step of the way. If you'd like to get a copy of the 5-step proprietary plan that will help you retire 3 to 5 years sooner than you thought possible, give us a shout right now. 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370 or utahsfinancialplanner.com. Listen, most of our listeners right now have a tax problem, not a money problem. There's not enough money in Social Security Medicare as it is. Let us show you how you can significantly reduce your taxes. That's 888-999-6370. 888-999-6370 or utahsfinancialplanner.com.
History had the gold rush, then came the oil boom, the tech boom, but right now it's the Wi-Fi boom, and Xfinity Wi-Fi is booming. Xfinity has everything you need to tap into the Wi-Fi boom with seriously powerful and seriously reliable connection. It's got 99.99% network reliability and incredibly low lag, so your streams are smoother than making a decision on what to stream. Did I mention you can even connect to hundreds of devices so you, your kids, your parents, your visitors, and whoever else is home can all experience the Wi-Fi boom with Xfinity. And the Wi-Fi isn't the only thing that's booming. Get the most reliable Wi-Fi and the best-in-class equipment for one consistent price for 5 years, guaranteed all in. Plus, get unlimited data included and no annual contract, all with the 5-year price guarantee from Xfinity. Visit Xfinity.com to learn more. Restrictions apply, not available in all areas. New residential customers only. Select plans only. Xfinity Gateway and X-Fi Complete required for unlimited data, except in certain areas. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024. Actual speeds vary.
You are listening to Midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. The unofficial end of summer quickly approaching this weekend. Now the TSA says they are bracing for a big Labor Day travel surge where they say travelers will be in the millions.
The TSA expects to screen more than 17 million passengers over the holiday weekend, with nearly 3 million travelers expected to fly on Friday alone. Travel experts say avoid taking off Friday or coming back Monday.
ABC's Rena Roy there. Many Americans are fixing to avoid air travel altogether, and AAA has some advice for the road warriors.
Although flights and cruises are popular ways to travel this weekend, AAA expects many travelers to stay closer to home, taking road trips to nearby beaches or national parks. Their advice, leave early to beat the backups. And good news at the pump, gas prices are expected to stay below last year's levels. For those who haven't made plans yet, last-minute flight deals are hard to find, but deals on hotels and rental cars are still out there.
If you are brave enough to join the Legion of Labor Day Vacationers, NerdWallet Sally French says being prepared might work against you.
Rental cars actually are on average cheaper when booked within 7 days of the trip than booked 3 months out. And then with hotels, you can use sites like Hotel Tonight to find those last-minute hotel room deals.
Travel safely, smartly this Labor Day, and keep your eyes open for great deals along the way. Labor Day weekend isn't just for barbecues and beach days. It's also one of the best times of year to score deals on tech. Major retailers like Amazon, Best Buy, Walmart are rolling out discounts on everything from laptops and tablets to smart home devices and headphones. GMA's Laura Spencer has more.
We know Labor Day signals the end of summer, but one silver lining is always those massive sales that you can find in brick and mortar stores and online. However, there is a little bit of uncertainty this year as we head into Labor Day sales week in light of tariffs. Retailers are experiencing higher costs that could mean less of those monster deals that people can usually find during these sales. But traditionally, you should be able to find the best deals on the following items and categories: mattresses, appliances, furniture, and in the home improvement category, specifically on tools. Summer inventory should all be on sale by now, with some retailers slashing prices, and I can tell you this personally, up to 60% off. On the flip side, there are some products you should probably wait to buy, according to our consumer team. The best deals on electronics, including TVs, tend to happen around Black Friday and Cyber Monday, guys.
So it pays to wait there. We're definitely thinking back to school supplies in our house, and you found some deals there.
We did indeed, and they are like, you can find things at Walmart and Target for under $1.
Laura says many of the sales for the holiday weekend are already going on, so she says now is the perfect time to shop before those deals disappear. If you have arthritis, you've been probably feeling this changing weather. The cold and wet weather creeps in and your joints start to hurt just a bit more than normal. Well, that could change. Here in Utah, low-dose radiation therapy is now being used to treat arthritis and other ailments. Dr. Leland Rogers, a physician at Jordan Valley Holy Cross Hospital, tells KSL News Radio's Tammy Kikuchi the treatment is external and it isn't designed to kill cells like radiation typically does.
They're treated with external beam radiation, which is the term that we use when a patient is lying on a treatment table and the radiation's just pointed at the right spot. And we call that external beam radiation, as opposed to many patients that we treat with internal radiation that we have a different term for called brachytherapy. But for these low-dose benign conditions, we're really talking about external radiation for the majority. And it's much lower dose. Radiation has typically been used in the United States for cancer. And the doses we need to kill cancer cells are much different than the doses we need to decrease inflammatory responses, which is the goal with arthritis and fasciitis and bursitis and those sort of conditions.
While the treatment is new here, it has been used in Europe for several years, and they've seen quite a bit of success with it.
It's new in the United States, but radiation therapy has been used for decades in Germany and Eastern Europe, much more commonly for benign diseases such as osteoarthritis and bursitis and plantar fasciitis. Those very common joint abnormalities. And their results have been good, and accordingly, we're picking up on this in the United States, and it's becoming more common now here.
Dr. Rogers says doctors in the U.S. have been hesitant to use the therapy until more was known about the possible negative long-term effects.
We've been a little hesitant in the United States because the doses of radiation that we use for cancer therapy have a small risk of causing cancer in, we see it in children who live a long time. We saw it in, survivors from Hiroshima and Nagasaki and from Chernobyl. But those were often younger people with whole body radiation doses, and they had a small increased cancer risk afterward. So because of that, we've been slower on the uptake in the United States, but it's now, clear that this is working for benign conditions at much lower doses. We're spot welding, we're not doing anything like whole body radiation. And typically patients with these problems are older So the risk of developing a cancer from the very low dose of radiation is remarkably low. In the studies from Germany, they've been zero. It doesn't appear to occur, although we still would follow for that and we would concern ourselves with it, but it looks like a very rare event.
He says not only does the treatment save time and money, there are virtually no side effects.
The reason is the dose is so low, so it's remarkably lower doses. And it turns out that the mechanisms of action are very different at those lower doses of radiation. We're decreasing inflammatory responses, not killing very many cells at all, which is the goal when we're treating cancer. We're trying to give enough radiation to kill cells. And when we're treating arthritis, we're not trying to do that. We're trying to just alter an inflammatory response, lessen it. And that's what's happening. And
we do have breaking news on KSL News Radio. We are getting word that they have started the news conference in Minneapolis about the shooting. Governor Tim Walz is now speaking to reporters.
School, committed to academics, service, and Catholic values, filled with the first days of school of beautiful children going to learn those values, share with their teachers and their classmates. And instead of that joy and that curiosity and that learning, they were met with evil and horror and death. And we often come to these and say, these unspeakable tragedies, or there's no words for this. There shouldn't be words for these types of incidents because they should not happen. And there's no words that are going to ease the pain of the families today. On behalf of all the people of Minnesota, our deepest sympathies. A wish that any of these words would make what you're feeling now better, but it won't. A place that's founded on community, founded on service, founded on family. I'd like to give special thank you to the mayor and the team in Minneapolis, the Minneapolis Police Department, Hennepin County Sheriff's Office, Minnesota State Patrol, the BCA, so many agencies, our federal partners in the FBI, the first responders, and the heroic work that's happening now as we speak at multiple medical locations, including Hennepin County Medical Center, where most of our children were transported to receive the life-saving care. The thoughts and prayers and the hopes and the support that we need to give them in this moment, too, is critical. Speaking with all the people here and grateful to our federal partners, Senator Klobuchar speaking early this morning and receiving a call from President Trump, who was with his leadership team of the Attorney General and the Vice President, expressing their deep condolences amongst the horror that happened and an offer to provide the support to the folks here in Minnesota of what's needed. So there's a lot of cameras here, and unfortunately we've been through these types of things. They will be gone at some point. All of you, you have to do your jobs. But what happened here today will not be gone. Minnesotans will not step away. We'll stand with this community. We'll redouble ourselves to do the best we can to understand what we can do to prevent any parent from having to receive the calls they received today, from any school dedicated to children having to respond to a situation that, as we said, is unthinkable, but that's all too common, not just in Minnesota, but across this country. It's Minnesota's day today, and it's my strongest desire that no state, no community, no school ever experiences a day like this. So I ask the rest of the folks around the country who are watching, keep us in your thoughts and prayers, but also keep us in the thoughts for action. Keep us in the ideas that we can work together. And it's on these days like this, I think, and I hope we can hold on to it, we are unified as a community. Everybody across the country today is part of the Annunciation Parish, and they're with those families. With that, Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey.
That was Minnesota Governor Tim Walz.
Thank you, Governor.
Throughout the morning, we have seen this extraordinary Minneapolis family step up in thousands of different ways. People with strength, resilience, compassion, and love for the families that have been forever impacted by this heinous act. We want to make sure that we're doing everything possible for them right now, and I want to give a special thank you, and we are so grateful to all of the faculty and the teachers at Annunciation. The way that they acted during severe threat and danger was nothing short of heroic. This is a tragic and horrible event that should never occur, and it would have been all the more tragic and horrible had they not stepped in, at times perhaps put themselves in danger to protect others. As horrible as this has been, it could have been far worse. I'm grateful for our law enforcement partners, our police officers in the Minneapolis Police Department and other law enforcement agencies well beyond that step up, that answered the call to make sure that they were running towards danger when so many of the rest of us would have run in the other direction. Thank you. We are so appreciative of your service. To Principal DeBoer and your whole team, the ethic that you have showed, the love that you've shown, it's flat out incredible. And at the same time, look, we need to be doing more than talking. It can't just be words. There needs to be action. And when we have seen school shooting after school shooting, when we have seen churches get shot up by horrible actors, I think the impetus has to be on all of us as leaders to do a whole lot more, to recognize that we've got more guns in this country than we have people. And it's on all of us to recognize the truth and the reality that we can't just say that this shouldn't happen again and then allow it to happen again and again beyond that. It's on all of us. And I have heard about a whole lot of hate that's being directed at our trans community. Anybody who is using this as an opportunity to villainize our trans community or any other community out there has lost their sense of common humanity. We should not be operating out of a place of hate for anyone. We should be operating from a place of love for our kids. Kids died today. This needs to be about them. This needs to be wrapping our arms around these families with every bit of love that we can possibly show. And I know that our Minneapolis family and well beyond is prepared to do exactly that. And so my message to everyone out there is, again, these families are experiencing some acute pain right now. But don't just think of these as somebody else's kids. Think of your own. Let's make sure that we're acting now to not just say it's never happening again, but ensure it doesn't. Our chief of police, who's been working tirelessly throughout the day, along with, again, a number of different law enforcement agencies, investigators, federal partners, state partners. Thank you, Senator Klobuchar, for being here. Been working tirelessly, and I'd like to invite him up to give some more of the details that have come up. Chief.
That is Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry.
My name is Brian O'Hara, B-R-I-A-N, O''H-A-R-A. I am the Minneapolis Police Chief. Good afternoon, and thank you all for your patience as we continue to gather the facts in this investigation into this truly unthinkable tragedy that happened here earlier today. I want to make sure that we are providing the most accurate information possible, particularly as we speak around our victims. At this point, we know we have a total of 19 victims from this tragedy. 2 were young children, ages 8 and 10, that were sitting in the pews at Mass when they were shot and killed. They were pronounced deceased on the scene. There were another 14 children between the ages of 6 and 15 that were injured by gunfire. There were also 3 adults in their 80s that were parishioners here attending Mass that were also shot in this incident. The families of all of the children that have been affected have been notified. The coward that shot these victims took his own life in the rear of the church. That coward has been identified as 23-year-old Robin Westman, no prior criminal history. As to the weapons used to perpetrate this horrific attack, there was a rifle, a shotgun, and a pistol. All 3 had been lawfully purchased by the shooter. At this stage, we believe that the shooter had acted alone. There is no indication of other suspects directly involved in carrying out this attack. Our investigators are working with other agencies in the process of executing 4 search warrants. One is for the church itself, where this crime occurred. The other 3 are residences nearby in the metro that are related to this shooter. Additional firearms are being recovered from those 3 residential locations as we speak. We are also aware of a manifesto that the shooter had timed to be released on YouTube. This manifesto appeared to show him at the scene and included some disturbing writings. That content has since been taken down with the assistance of the FBI, and it now remains under active review by our investigators. We know this community is reeling and is in pain. I want to ensure everyone in our community, this parish, all of the families affected, and all of our residents, that all of law enforcement collectively, local law enforcement, our county, our state, and all of our federal law enforcement partners have been here, and we are all working tirelessly to uncover the full scope of what happened, to try and identify a motive why it happened, and whether there are any other further details. We will continue to share updates as the investigation progresses, and we remain committed to being as transparent as possible while protecting the integrity of this investigation. In a moment, I will take some questions that I am able to answer, but first I want to bring up the principal of Annunciation School, Matt Du Bois, as well as, after him, the Archbishop, our Archbishop Bernard Hebda. So, Principal.
Good afternoon, everyone. To any of our students and families and staff watching right now, I love you. You're so brave, and I'm so sorry this happened to us today. Within seconds of this situation beginning, our teachers were heroes. Children were ducked down. Adults were protecting children. Older children were protecting younger children. And as we heard earlier, it could have been significantly worse without their heroic action. This is a nightmare, but we call our staff the Dream Team, and we will recover from this. We will rebuild from this. When we planned for this school year, we intentionally chose a theme from the prophet Jeremiah chapter 29, a future filled with hope. There's nothing about today that can fill us with hope. We, as a community, have a responsibility to make sure that no child, no parent, no teacher ever has to experience what we've experienced today, ever again. I need everybody to commit those words to your speech patterns, never again. We lost 2 angels today. And please continue to pray for those still receiving care. We can't change the past, but we can do something about the future. There's an African proverb that says, when you pray, move your feet. So I beg you, I ask you to please pray, but don't stop with your words. Let's make a difference and support this community, these children, these families, these teachers. Never again can we let this happen. I love you, Annunciation family. We're with you, and we will be stronger when this is done.
Annunciation
Archbishop
Principal
Hebda
Matt Du Bois
will be coming
there.
next.
Thank you, Principal Du Bois. I'm so grateful that Mayor Fry and the Chief
both mentioned how valiant you and your staff were. I'm so grateful to the pastor here at Annunciation, Father Dennis Zarin, for the deacon, Deacon Kevin Keneally, also were heroic in this time. But how sad it is, for sure, not only for the families who are directly involved, but indeed for families everywhere who feel the threat that comes from an event, a tragedy like today's. I would never want to correct a principal, but Principal DeBoer said it wasn't so clear where would be the source of hope. And brothers and sisters, we have to be men and women of hope. Already today, I've been receiving messages from all over our country promising prayers. And I think it's the prayers of the feet as well, Principal. That is, for me, is a source of hope, just as we see families stepping forward to help those who have been impacted by this terrible tragedy. Very grateful that Principal DeBoer spoke about prayer. Certainly that the bell in a Catholic church is always a call to prayer. And so it's a reminder for us, for sure, to be praying. And we have to recognize that it's through prayer and through that prayer of the feet, through that action, that we can indeed make a difference. That has to be the source of our hope. I was particularly pleased today to receive a message from Pope Leo. If you'd bear with me, I'd like to share that with you. It comes directly from Cardinal Pietro Parolin, who's the Secretary of State, and it reads like this. His Holiness Pope Leo XIV was profoundly saddened to learn of the loss of life and injuries following the shooting that took place at Annunciation Church in Minneapolis. And he sends his heartfelt condolences and the assurance of spiritual closeness to all those affected by this terrible tragedy, especially the families now grieving the loss of a child, while commending the souls of the deceased children to the love of Almighty God. His Holiness prays for the wounded as well as the first responders, medical personnel, and clergy who are caring for them and their loved ones. At this extremely difficult time, the Holy Father imparts to the Annunciation Catholic school community, the Archdiocese of St. Paul and Minneapolis, and the people of the greater Twin Cities metropolitan area his apostolic blessing as a pledge of peace, fortitude, and consolation in the Lord Jesus. My brothers and sisters, that gives me some hope. We know that the Holy Father, Pope Leo, did his hospital training right here in Minneapolis, so he knows our community, and he's been reminding anybody visiting from Minnesota that he spent some time here. We're very grateful for his blessing, but I, like those who have spoken before, ask that you would continue to look for those ways of supporting those who have been impacted today, not only with your prayers, but also with your action. Thank you. And Chief, I now turn this back to you for your questions.
KSL FM Midvale, KSL Salt Lake City.
Thank you, Archbishop. As I mentioned, obviously the investigation continues in its preliminary stages. I will take some questions now, and additionally, we will let you know when we can provide some updated information.
How are the injured students doing? What are their conditions at this
The
point?
question from Matt was, how are the injured students doing? I believe all of them have their parents with them now, and they are all expected to survive. All of the remaining victims are expected to survive. There is a range of injuries, however.
Chief, you said the weapons were acquired legally. Do we know when
Yes.
and where they were acquired?
I can tell you they were purchased recently. So the question was on a possible motive and a relationship to the church or to the school. I have no information to share on a motive other than saying again that there was some sort of manifesto that was timed to come out on YouTube. It's been taken down and our investigators are going through that to try and develop a motive from that. Additionally, there are these 3 search warrants happening in residential locations, and we may very well find more information or writings that could give some sense to that, but we don't have that now. And I cannot confirm a relationship between the suspect or his family and this church at this time, but that's obviously something we're looking very closely at. What was by the suspect? I'm sorry. Okay. Yep. So the question was about the manifesto. We do believe it was by the suspect, yes.
And we understand that we've seen some documents about the name change that somebody with the same name as the suspect has filed for a few years ago.
Yep.
Do you believe this to be the same person, that Robin Westman was in fact born with a different name at this point? And can you speak a little bit more about the identity?
Yep. So the question was about the suspect, and he had a name change at some point in the past. I cannot confirm that, other than confirming the identity, the name that I gave you, the age. That is the suspect. That's the person that we believe has caused this.
Chief, you mentioned these videos posted on YouTube, seemingly scheduled to be posted right after the shooting. Is there anything that the suspect posted days prior, months prior, that could shed any light on your mindset?
Yep. So the question was, we mentioned that the YouTube videos were scheduled to be posted. Is there anything else in social media that may shed some light into this? We do not have information on that at this time that I'm able to share. However, our investigators and our law enforcement partners are definitely looking at that.
How many children and parishioners were in the church when this happened?
So the question was, how many children and parishioners were in the church when this happened? This was towards the beginning of Mass, so some of the children were already filed into the church and were seated. Others were coming in. I've heard estimates, but we will release a more definitive number.
Minneapolis police officers have had a couple of days. I know we're talking about the children.
Yep.
In this incident, but there were several shootings yesterday.
Yep.
How is the resource thing going for you? Are you getting help from other places?
Yep. So Sue's question was resources for Minneapolis police due to the other challenges we've had the last 24 hours. Obviously, this has been the most difficult. The dozens of officers that responded to this scene, many of them are deeply traumatized by what they saw, as are obviously all of the children, all of the staff members, Father Dennis, everyone who was at Mass this morning. So obviously that has been our number one priority, is to care for the health and wellness of the officers that responded here. Additionally, obviously, we have responded to other challenging situations and other acts of violence. I can say, in regard to the shooting that happened outside of the high school yesterday, we have arrested 2 people for assisting in that shooting. We have not gotten the shooter yet, but we believe we have 2 people under arrest that were present with the shooter when that happened, and we're making significant progress. There was an additional arrest at a homicide last night that happened on the 2700 block of 3rd Avenue South. That person has not been booked specifically for being responsible for that murder, but we believe that is the person who caused that.
And you've been listening to a news conference out of Minnesota, out of Minneapolis. That is the police chief there. He went on to talk about other shootings that have happened in his city in the last couple of days. Just a quick recap of what we learned here. 19 victims in that school shooting in Minneapolis, 2 young children who have died. All of the other children, the other 14 children who were injured, we learned will survive. They are with their family members in the hospital right now. And we also learned that 3 adult parishioners in their 80s were also shot. We will continue to follow this very closely. Still no motive, but they have said that a YouTube video put up by Robin Westman, the shooter in this case, the alleged shooter in this case, has been taken down from YouTube. Government offices in Box Elder County closing early today in preparation for a public viewing of 2 fallen police officers.
Circumstance are for the communities. They are set up in such a way that the members of the community that want to pay their respects to those officers can do that.
The time is 2:08 on Wednesday, August 27th. It's midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. Coming up, we'll get a live update on the viewing service, what people can expect over the next couple of days. Also this hour,
they're trying to force in, half-acre lots and higher density housing
in a National Historic District.
Residents in a small central Utah town suing their city council over plans for new developments in the small historic town. But first, let's take a look at traffic and weather brought to you by Mountain America's My Style checking account. Ricky?
We do have some problems on our freeways. Starting in Utah County, a crash at the on-ramp to northbound I-15 at 8th North in Orem. Only a right lane on that ramp is open at this time. In Salt Lake County, a crash eastbound I-80 at the ramp at Redwood Road. It's to the right. You can get by, but use caution. An accident being cleared southbound I-15 in Murray at the I-215 junction. That's what we call the South Interchange. Then in Davis County, a crash northbound I-15, Glover Lane, Farmington, kind of sticking out into that left lane of travel. Get a free ticket to Sharing Aloha through August with every Cinemark purchase of 2+ tickets. Use code ALOHA, all capital letters, at checkout. Limited number available. SharingAlohaTheMovie.com. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Still a 90% chance of showers today. As you can see from those dark clouds, reduced to a 50% chance tomorrow. High of 78 today. Right now, dark clouds, 73 degrees at the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios.
The sources where we get our news matters.
When you listen to Utah's Morning News, we want you to feel the stories are important to you and trustworthy. This is Amanda Dixon.
And I'm Andy Farnsworth. Join us weekday mornings on KSL News Radio.
What are you doing every day to support your liver? If you enjoy sweets, fast food, alcohol, or take any medications, that's a vital question to ask. Hi, I'm Sherry Torkas, pharmacist and health author. For over 30 years, I've helped people make informed decisions about their health, especially concerning prevention and long-term wellness. Supporting your liver isn't just a wellness trend, it's a daily essential. That's why I recommend Active Liver by New Nordic. It's made with plant-based ingredients like milk thistle, turmeric, and globe artichoke, herbs clinically studied for their protective and restorative effects on the liver. Active Liver blends traditional herbal wisdom with modern scientific research. Not all supplements are created equal. I trust Active Liver because it's backed by science, meets strict quality standards, and delivers true daily liver support.
Protect your liver and give it the support that it deserves by making Active Liver from New Nordic part of your daily wellness routine. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meijer Grocery, or online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
When you take your grandkids to Disney, do they know what's in your investment portfolio? Do they even care? They're busy having a great time, and you're busy making memories. At Galileo Wealth Management, we understand the nuts and bolts of retirement planning, our investments, the stock market, taxes, Social Security, Medicare, and more. But think about it. What are you trying to do here? Is your goal to beat the S&P? Or is your goal to make memories with your family? Our goal is to give you the confidence to spend in retirement without the fear of running out of money. Call Todd Kim at Galileo Wealth Management today. 801-516-3227. That's 801-516-3227. Or go online to GalileoWealth.com. Let Todd Kim and Galileo Wealth Management help you make memories, not just money.
Thanks for tuning into Midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. In the line of duty, we have special coverage of the memorials for the 2 police officers shot and killed in Tremonton a week and a half ago. City offices in Tremonton now closed for the day so that people can attend the viewing for the officers, which begins in just under an hour. KSL News Radio's Eric Cabrera is in Box Elder County right now. He joins me live on Midday. And Eric, what's going on there right now? Apparently, we are having some sort of problem. We will get back to Eric in just a moment here on KSL News Radio. Utah State University is now preparing to host thousands of extra people tomorrow and Friday for the funerals of the 2 fallen officers. Director of USU Parking and Transportation, Tracy Hull, says it's going to be a little chaotic, but he hopes people in Logan appreciate the opportunity to honor these 2 fallen heroes.
Yes, it might be inconvenient for a couple of days, but I would hope. I certainly feel like I feel honored to be able to help in a small way, and hopefully that sentiment is shared by most.
They are asking anyone heading to the campus tomorrow or Friday morning to plan ahead. They are also relocating student parking near the Spectrum to accommodate those attending the funerals. We will carry those funerals in full here on KSL News Radio and on our social media accounts tomorrow and Friday. The funerals begin at 10 a.m., but we will have special coverage on Inside Sources beginning at 9. We're going to take a break and come back. Hopefully, we will be able to reestablish with Eric Cabrera. Midday continues in just 90 seconds.
If you need new windows and you live in Utah, there's only one choice. There are other window companies, but they're more expensive and their windows aren't made in Utah for Utah's ever-changing climate. Advanced Window Products has been building state-of-the-art windows right here in Salt Lake for 39 years. And since they're the factory, they cut out the middleman and you save 30, even 40% on new windows. Plus, right now as they book for fall, Advanced Windows will give you $2,500 off on 10 windows or more. They build the windows, install the windows, and guarantee them for life. And since they're right here in Utah, if you have a problem years from now, just call them. They'll come over. Advanced Windows offers 0% financing, buy now, pay later. They're affordable. Get your new windows and get the energy savings before we get to winter. $2,500 off. Call them, 801-850-9100. That's 801-850-9100, or go to advancedwindows.com.
Thinking about retirement? Make sure a My Social Security account is a part of your plan. A My Social Security account gives you secure access to your personal earnings history and benefit status. You can find out if you're eligible to receive benefits, compare retirement benefit estimates at different ages or dates, view spousal benefit estimates, and more. Plan for your future. Open a My Social Security account at ssa.gov/myaccount. Social Security, securing today and tomorrow.
Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
In the line of duty, we have special coverage for the memorials of the two officers killed and shot in Tremonton. The city offices now closed for the day, so people can attend the viewing of the officers, which begins in just under an hour. KSL News Radio's Eric Cabrera is in Box Elder County right now. He joins me now live on Midday. And Eric, what's going on right now? And apparently we continue to have some problems with Eric. We're going to move along. A group of people living in Spring City in Sanpete County have filed a lawsuit against their own city council. Michael Broadbent is a member of the Friends of Historic Spring City, and he tells KSL TV they're worried that the city could lose its listing on the National Register of Historic Places.
They're trying to force in, half-acre lots and higher density housing in a National Historic District.
He says the city council is moving forward with expansion plans without much public input.
Over time, it could very well threaten the National Historic District status.
Melanie Cook is an attorney representing the group and owns a home in the city, and she says they are worried about losing their heritage.
Some of these residents that have approached me have been there not only their lifetime, but their parents' lifetime and their grandparents' lifetime. They're in the same homes with their grandparents owned at the time when these homes were being constructed and built. And so there's a lot of descendants and family heritage and pioneer heritage, and that are really moving this cause. It's to protect the historic designation of Spring City. One of the issues that's really a pressing issue is we have just a few members on our city council that want to pass an ordinance to change the lot size, for example. And it's to cut those lot sizes in half. And what that does is when you have a historic designation, if you have less than 50% of the historic structures and you have more of the modern structures, you can lose your historic designation. So what we're trying to do outside of the lawsuit is work with City Council to find a way to see if there's resolution to protect the historic district, but then also promote the growth that is needed in cities, but also promote the growth just outside the historic designation and boundaries. And so these are things that we're hoping for, but the lawsuit is in place because we can't get the city council to listen. to any of these requests or pleas or the comments from our citizens that have been really active for a year.
Cook says they're hoping to find a resolution rather than take it to trial, but they need the city council to work with them on possible resolutions. It's one thing going to go swimming in Lake Powell. It's another thing to swim across Lake Powell. The story of a man who's trying to do just that next. But first, KSL Traffic, brought to you by Mountain America's MyStyle checking account. Ricky?
We have a crash and load spill at the ramp to I-15 in Utah County at 8th North. Now, only a right lane of traffic is open, but the problem is this is a big load spill. It's going to take them a while to get this cleaned up at that ramp. So I imagine they're going to have to block off traffic to the ramp completely in order to get this cleaned and worked on. But if you're in the Orem area, remember it's the ramp to northbound I-15 at 8th North. You may want to just find an alternate route. And we also have just buckets of rain coming down, soaking the roads in the West Jordan and parts of South Jordan area. A lot of water on the road. That increases your potential for hydroplaning, so do be careful in that area. The Good Feet store, supporting you with comfort no matter what the day brings. Find the location nearest you at goodfeet.com. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
I used to get overwhelmed at the grocery store. One minute I'm reading a label that says healthy. Next thing I know, it's packed with sugar and stuff I can't pronounce. That's when Soda stepped in. When I started the program, I didn't just get a food plan, I got a lifeline. I lost 82 pounds in 16 weeks. But more than that, I learned how to eat smart, shop smart, stay on track even when life gets messy. I could text my Soda nutritionist from aisle 5 and get instant help. That's support you don't get from a label. This isn't about being perfect, it's about being prepared. And with Soda, I finally felt in control of my health and my habit. Go to sodaweightloss.com. Sodaweightloss.com. SOTA. It stands for State of the
Whether
Art.
you're building your
Click the Request Nutritionist callback. Get to it. You can do it. You know how I know you can do it? Because I did it. Sodaweightloss.com. Sodaweightloss.com.
Soda is, say it with me, state of the art.
Whether you're building your $1 million dream home, giving your current home a facelift, or just trying to get it out of the minor leagues, Peach Windows and Doors brings the big league look.
Modern style, energy efficiency, clean lines, tough builds, and curb appeal that hits like a home run. Not sure what you need? No sweat. Peach has the coaching staff to get your home in the game. No pressure, no gimmicks, just solid game plans and pro-level results to help you knock it out of the park.
Come see for yourself big, beautiful windows that bring the outside in. Visit Peach Windows and Doors showroom, big enough to spark ideas, small enough to feel right at home. It's time to step up your game and make your house the MVP of the neighborhood. Why live in the minor leagues when you can swing like $1 million? Peach Windows and Doors, because real homes play like champions. Visit peachdoorsandwindows.com or call 801-566-1255 for your free consultation.
That's Peach Windows and Doors. Give them a call, 801-566-1255.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
When your reputation's on the line, you don't leave anything to chance, especially your primer. Painters trust Kills primers for a smooth start, strong adhesion, and serious stain-blocking power. And now, the full Kills lineup is available exclusively at the Home Depot. Need it fast? Get same-day or next-day delivery, or order online and pick up in-store. Kills primers. Pro results, faster. The Home Depot. If you're a pro, you know.
What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Wilson with Any Hour Services, and if you have a drain that's clogged or backed up, after you've tried the plungers and products, the next step usually involves some kind of drain snake or cabling equipment. You see, sometimes the blockage is far enough down the line that you need special equipment that most homeowners just don't have. That's where the Drains Department at Any Hour Services can help. A drain snake can clear most blockages and get the water flowing again, and clearing blocked drains is what our Drains Department does day in and day out. So if you're a homeowner with a drain line that's clogged or backed up and you'd like one of our drain technicians to come and snake the line for you, it's only $29. Yep, you heard that right. Any Hour Services will snake any drain line with normal access for only $29. Sinks, showers, tubs, toilets, floor drains, laundry drains, even that sewer main line that connects to the city. We'll snake any line for just $29. For help with your drain issues, call Any Hour Services at 801-443-7700. You can Google Any Hour Services. You can even schedule online at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
Do you have an IRA or 401k? It's natural to think of this as being your money, right? But remember, you still have to pay taxes when you withdraw this money in retirement. And you could be paying a lot more in taxes on these accounts than you know. A lot more. Learn the strategies that can help you reduce or eliminate your taxes in retirement. Don't miss a special edition of Retirement Solutions Radio this Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock, right here on KSL News Radio 1027.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
You are listening to Midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. We are streaming on the KSL News Radio app. It's sponsored by At Your Service Pros. Do you like to swim? How about swimming in Lake Powell? That's a pretty popular activity, right? But get this, a Colorado man next week will attempt to be the first person to swim the entire length of Lake Powell. 49-year-old Shane Schieffer will begin his 10-day journey next Tuesday.
And I'm doing it expedition style, so I've got this rig behind me. I'm pulling all my gear self-supported. I will have a safety crew out there, so they'll make sure I'm okay. But I'm not taking any navigation, pacing, no food, water, even in the evening. I really want it to be start to finish something I get to do and like I said, that expedition style. My goal is to do 14 miles a day. So swimming basically as long as I can while it's light every day. I expect maybe 10 days out on the water, sleeping on the shore at night.
Schieffer tells KSL TV's Andrew Adams what makes up the 215 pounds of stuff that'll be taking along for the ride.
So it's a stand-up pedal board. I've got dry boxes on it, almost 80 pounds of food. The whole thing weighs 215 pounds. The camping gear is only 5 pounds of that. So most of it is food. I have water purification, solar recharging for my tracking devices, some safety gear, of course. And it just attaches with a long boom pole to my waist. And I swim and it just tugs along behind me.
Andy says it is no easy feat tugging all that gear along, but he's gotten used to it.
At first, it was uncomfortable, but I've come to like it. And when I track myself swimming, I'm actually faster with it at this point than without it. I am using swim fins. I've anticipated about 200,000 rotations of the shoulders out there in the water. So I think the fins are really smart for safety for me, tendonitis, that sort of thing, just preventing any real injury. So with those fins, it's totally changed my stroke. And the other day I was out swimming here. I swam without the rig and I was actually slower without it than I was with it because I've adapted my posture, my form, and my technique entirely to pulling this device.
Schieffer says he's always daydreamed of contributing a story to the adventure community, and Lake Powell has significant meaning for him.
Lake Powell is the center of just everything I love to do in the outdoors. You've got all the slot canyons drain into what's Glen Canyon. That's what Lake Powell is formed on top of. So I've spent a lot of time out there with that. Mountain biking, I've paddled on Lake Powell, backpacking in the area. I just think it's a real special part of the country. I have heard, well, after I was looking into this, I see that There's a woman who swam from the dam to Bullfrog. That's 80 miles. So that is a massive swim. So there is one other person who's been out there. I think that was her intent. I haven't met her. I think that's exactly what she wanted to do. Why did I choose Lake Powell? I've always just daydreamed about kind of contributing a story to the adventure community. People who like to set records. I have a friend who set the record on the 14ers. And I thought, what's my expression of, my kind of curiosity for the limits of myself in the outdoors? And I guess I can't really tell you how I chose swimming Lake Powell, other than I was probably out on it at one point and thought, this is a huge lake. It'd be amazing to cross this thing.
Now, Schieffer is the chief operating officer at Versa Climber, and he says he started training on an upright strength and conditioning machine for 20 minutes a day in March. Now, he also began to test himself with progressively longer swims, including a 10-hour swim 3 months into his training. So I've been taking a look at the current conditions, and if you think 64 degrees is comfortable, that is what the water temperature is right now. Now, the temperature, the outdoor temperature is about 75 degrees, and overnight low, where he's going to be just sleeping out there on the shore, is the overnight low 66 degrees. Now, you can follow his journey next week. You can follow him on Instagram. It's 2:30 midday at KSL News Radio. I'm Maria Shilaos. Some of the stories we are watching this hour: a tragic situation in Minneapolis today following a deadly shooting at a Catholic school. Look at the latest from ABC News. Flooding potential around northern Utah as heavy rain and thunderstorms move across the state. And KSL traffic, Ricky.
Here comes the rain, and it is unloading on the freeways, I-215, I-15, anywhere from Murray and Taylorsville into Sandy and Draper. Maria?
And the rain, it's dropping our temperature as well. Right now, 72 degrees down. KSL's local stories in 1 minute.
This is a special report from ABC News. I'm Michelle Franzen. In Minneapolis, following the morning mass shooting at Annunciation Catholic School, police identified the lone gunman who opened fire, killing 2 children and wounding 17 others. Here's ABC's Alex Stone.
Police are now identifying the shooter as 23-year-old Robin Westman. FBI Director Kash Patel says Robin Westman was born Robert Westman. Driver's license information reviewed by ABC News shows a name change application in 2020, noting the applicant identified as a female and requested the name change. Police say the shooter was wearing all black with a rifle, shotgun, and pistol when the young children were targeted.
The FBI director says the agency is investigating the shooting as a domestic terrorism and hate crime against Catholics. ABC News has learned police are looking into the gunman's social media, including a YouTube video posted before the shooting. The video shows an individual flipping through pages of notes and drawings. This is ABC News.
KSL's top local story: the spending habits of every public college and university president in Utah will now be audited after the Utah State University president was accused of misusing taxpayer funds. KSL News Radio's Alexandria Bonilla reports.
The Utah System of Higher Education Commissioner Jeffrey Landward says they'll conduct an independent investigation at the same time lawmakers look into the presidential spending at USU.
And seeing if there's a gap in statewide policy that already exists versus the concerns that are coming up in this audit. If we identify a gap where statewide policy is necessary, we're going to address that through the Board of Higher Education.
But the agency will be handling future audits for the state's 8 traditional public institutions. Landward says it's an opportunity for them to implement better practices because right now there are very few policies in place for a president's spending. Alexandria Bonilla, KSL News Radio.
Utah's governor wants to see a tougher cell phone ban in schools. KSL News Radio's Randall Jepson has more.
Utah lawmakers passed a bill saying kids cannot use their cell phones in schools during class time. But Governor Spencer Cox, on a post on X, he says that's a nice step, but it was a mistake not to pass a full-day bell-to-bell ban. He says evidence shows without a full school day cell phone ban, we risk damaging kids more and falling behind other states.
When lawmakers debated the school cell phone ban, there were parents and lawmakers who said that they want to be able to reach their kids during school, just not during class time. Brigham City says their police shifts will be covered by outside agencies for the next couple of days. They posted on Facebook that until Saturday morning, other law enforcement agencies will be helping in Brigham so their officers can attend the funeral services of Officer Estrada and Sergeant Sorensen. Ogden has been chosen as the stateside home base for the UK Film Festival and School Rain Dance.
The festival features films from around the world and has launched the careers of directors like Guy Ritchie and Christopher Nolan. Creative Development Director Dawn Hopner says part of what drew them towards Ogden is their commitment to growing an arts district.
To us, that's exciting because we want a community that we can grow with, and that we can combine what we have and make it stronger.
She says the first festival is planned for March 2027, but as soon as next summer, they will be holding classes and events for the community. Brianna Willis, KSL News Radio.
And taking a look at your money at this moment at the close, the Dow was up 155 points, more than 0.25%, sitting at 45,573. S&P up by 14 points, and the Nasdaq up by 45 points. Traffic and weather brought to you by Mountain America's My Style checking account. Seen a few problems out there, Ricky.
We are, and we are seeing a lot of water on the road. The rain is coming down. And when I say a lot of water on the road, when drivers go over the freeway, there is this big rooster tail, a spray of water from what is just simply on the freeway. And we're just not used to that. So lights and wipers on, slow your speeds, expect slower speeds due to the weather on north and southbound I-15, South Salt Lake to Sandy. Mortgage rates are going down. Take advantage. Visit loansbyrick.com at Vintage Lending. Loansbyrick.com. NMLS 241179, Equal Opportunity Lender. Ricky Meese, the KSL Traffic Center.
Mornings are for recharging.
And they're for starting your day right.
We volunteer to join you in the car. Get news and weather at 102.7 FM during the most important part of your day.
Andy and Amanda, each morning between 5 and 9 on KSL News Radio.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to the end of summer sale at AutoZone. We're celebrating the end of long days and short nights with big deals for a short time, like car wash. Right now, you can save 20% on the Armor All Complete Car Wash Kit. Need new brakes? Duralast brake pads are free with the purchase of Duralast rotors. We've also got oil deals and more. We're ending the summer right with the end of summer sale at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Next big holiday, it's right around the corner, and it's Labor Day. It's a time to kick back and relax and recover from all of the spectacular things you did during the summertime. And, of course, the effort of getting the kids back to school. It's time to go to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, don't you think? Hotel Park City or downtown Salt Lake City? Wrap up the summer, kick off the fall with your reservations at either location, where you are going to get a wonderful meal served in such an incredible way at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. And whichever entree you choose, whether it's one of their famous steaks or seafood, poultry, maybe it's something special on the menu, it will be cooked to perfection, exactly the way you like it, and served on a 500-degree sizzling plate. Side dishes to die for. The desserts, oh, you've got to save room. It's time to make your reservations. Ruth's Chris Steakhouse.
10 years ago, Les Olson IT set out to do more than fix copiers and printers. We set out to become the IT team Utah businesses count on. Today, we're proud to celebrate a decade as Utah's managed IT service provider, trusted by thousands of local companies for secure, reliable tech support. Thanks for trusting us. Here's to the next 10 years of innovation, protection, and partnership. Visit lesolson.com to learn more.
Les Olson IT.
You were listening to Midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. Parts of northern Utah are under an extended flood advisory right now. It was supposed to end at 1, but was extended until 3. There's already been some intense road flooding in Weber County, and the Salt Lake Valley is seeing heavy rain. One KSL traffic trooper says heavy rain on the west side has turned I-215 into a makeshift river from the I-15 interchange and Redwood Road. Now, earlier on Midday, I spoke with Christine Cruz, lead meteorologist with the National Weather Service.
So right now we are seeing the heaviest rain is in Weber County. As you said, there was some road flooding in North Ogden and Ogden. That rain has largely come to an end in that area. We're still seeing those elevated amounts of water in places that were flooding earlier. We're going to see additional showers and thunderstorms forming across northern Utah this afternoon. The highest threat is likely, though, south of the areas that received the heavy rain this morning.
How has the weather been impacting our state's wildfires and burn scar areas?
So for the burn scars, we haven't had any debris flows with this monsoon surge thus far that we've been made aware of. It's actually been very good to see all of this heavy rain to really moisten up those fuels across the state.
So that's helping with the wildfires.
Yes.
So is this going to continue?
So today and into tomorrow will be the end of this monsoon surge, and then we'll see a lot of drying Friday into the weekend. It won't be as much coverage tomorrow as we've been seeing. It'll be a little bit drier, but we'll still see some threat of heavy rain tomorrow across the state.
But it sounds like it's going to be nice for Labor Day.
Yes. Nice if you don't want precipitation.
Oh, that's true. A lot of people do love the wet weather, and I love it. We need it for sure. But when you're out recreating, not so fun.
Right. I mean, it looked more like the Pacific Northwest out there today than Utah.
It certainly did. Thanks so much, Christine. Christine Cruz is lead meteorologist with the National Weather Service. The FDA approving updated COVID-19 shots today. The new shots from Pfizer, Moderna, and Novavax approved for all seniors, but the Food and Drug Administration narrowed their use for younger adults and children to those with at least one high-risk health condition such as asthma or obesity. Here in Utah, COVID cases are already on the rise. That's according to wastewater data collected by the state health department. Now, this may come as a result of a new variant, according to wastewater surveillance manager Nathan Lacrosse.
So we are seeing higher levels now than we have in a fair while. Certainly, I'd say higher than, it's been about a year since we've seen levels this high. They're not at a crazy point, but like I said, they're higher than we've seen in the past year, and they're still going up. And it largely coincides and is probably related to the introduction of yet another new variant.
Lacrosse says that while it's not exactly spreading at the rapid pace that we've seen before, it's still something that people should keep a close eye on.
And it's, like I said, not a super rapid increase. It's fitting the pattern that we've seen for the past few years now, where we see noticeable and clear increasing trends, but not particularly fast. They kind of go up relatively slowly week to week to week, and then they'll stay that way. I'm guessing what we'll see again, stay that way for a while, and then eventually, typically months later, start coming back down again. And I don't want to unduly de-emphasize the potential seriousness and severity of this, because there are more people getting sick right now with SARS-CoV-2. Some of those people are going to be more susceptible to some of these severe outcomes, and that's a very bad thing. And we want people to pay attention to that. But at the same time, it is not some particularly exceptional situation. It's fitting this pattern that we've seen for the past few years. Yes.
By now, you may be familiar with the preventative measures that one should take against COVID, but Lacrosse says that knowledge is power.
There's a number of things. We certainly always encourage people to visit our dashboard. We have a public dashboard where all of our data on SARS-CoV-2 is available to the public. That's updated every day. We don't get new data every day, but it automatically updates every day. And so people can look at and see what is happening both in their own community and in other communities, maybe places that they may be thinking of traveling, or that family members and friends may be going to, and get a sense of what the level of risk might be for them and their loved ones. And, we always encourage people, certainly if you have not been vaccinated, or with the newest iteration of the vaccine, we always encourage people to go out. It's a very effective and safe vaccine, and is a great way of preventing often sickness entirely. Certainly the more severe symptoms and outcomes that can be possible with infection.
In other healthcare news, there have been hundreds, if not thousands, of cases of insurance fraud over the years. A woman from Willard knows about this all too well. Company back east has been billing Medicare on her behalf for supplies that she never ordered. When she couldn't get the problem solved, she called KSL 5 TV's Matt Gephardt for help.
Linda Carlinzi is a desectologist. That is a fancy term for somebody who loves jigsaw puzzles. But what Linda is no fan of is the puzzling charges that keep hitting her Medicare account.
It really quite makes me angry. I have no tolerance for scammers.
Some New York-based medical supply company keeps trying to bill Medicare for supplies that Linda did not order. It began with a $2,600 request for 10 glucose monitors.
That caught my attention because I'm not diabetic.
Medicare caught the fraud and rejected that claim. But months later, another bogus charge, this time for bandages, $6,300 worth.
$6,000 for wound care?
For wound care supplies.
You don't appear to me to have any wounds at all, let alone $6,000 worth.
No.
And Medicare did not catch the fraud this time, paying all of that money to the company. Linda says she is frustrated this keeps happening, and she asked me to investigate. The company is Almaz Med Supply, based in Queens, New York. The KSL investigators reached out to the company to ask about these claims. They did not return our calls. On the Better Business Bureau website, we noticed many very similar complaints of bogus claims against Almaz. The KSL investigators reached out to Medicare to ask about all of this. A spokesperson would not comment on Linda's specific situation, but they told us they take fraud seriously and that they investigate. You should know, though, that more than just a little bit slips through the cracks. Audits have found that Medicare fraud costs U.S. taxpayers more than $60 billion per year. As for Linda, she admits she has not always read over her Medicare benefit statements carefully in the past, but she sure does now.
That's why everybody has to be vigilant.
KSL investigator Matt Gephardt reporting. Now, federal agents say if you find anything in your Medicare statement that shouldn't be there, you should report it. Midday continues in just 60 seconds.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate your car today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car, running or not, can be picked up as soon as the next day. You'll get a maximum tax deduction and a vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
A West Valley City 8-year-old is headed for the bright lights of Times Square in New York, New York, and her mom says it's more than just a picture on the screen. The lights, the sounds, the atmosphere, there's just something about New York City.
I'm leaving today.
Linda Millar says her daughter's photo was one of just 500 chosen for the National Down Syndrome Society's Times Square video.
The craziest thing is that we have actually a pretty wonderful Down syndrome community, not just within Utah, but worldwide. There's a lot of advocates out there and associations that, they really want to help promote and educate those that have Down syndrome. Like, we should be celebrating them. And so the Times Square video submission has always been a thing yearly. So I applied every year. We've never been chosen. Olivia hasn't been chosen, but this year they chose her photo. And so we were very excited, and now we get to showcase her.
Linda tells KSL News Radio's Eric Cabrera, while the recognition is huge, Olivia's personality already fills any room.
If you have ever got to meet Olivia or be around her, you will realize that she is probably one of the funniest people that you have ever encountered. Her personality, it's really indescribable because she does little dances and has little pranks that I don't know where she got it from. And her obsession with wanting to do YouTube videos, I'll turn around and she's doing makeup and saying, "Hey guys, subscribe and like," and she doesn't have a YouTube.
She says the family couldn't have made it this far without the support of other families and groups who welcomed them from the start.
When she was born and her diagnosis, they told us that she may not walk, she may not speak. And so we always had this fear of like, hey, there's going to be some challenges ahead, which granted, there has been medical challenges ahead. But to really lay it out there, it's incredible to see where she's at now, where she can go outside and socially be, hanging out with her friends and playing. And she can verbalize to me what she wants and doesn't want, and what a lot of her other peers don't have that opportunity right now.
The Millars head to New York in September to see Olivia's smile shine across 2 Jumbotron screens. Linda says the magnitude of the event has been hard for Olivia to understand.
I don't think she really grasps how big this TV is in Times Square.
Right.
When we tell her that we'll be on TV, she's only thinking like our TV in our living room, or when we go to a Utah Jazz game and she sees herself on the Jumbotron. I don't think she really grasps it until we actually go see it. So I think it's going to be a shock to her.
And Linda says she is so proud to showcase her daughter to the world.
It's a blessing. It's a blessing to be able to showcase my special child for the world. Out of the, so many that were selected, there's only 500 that are selected per year. And they get to see her cute smile, her cute personality, all out of a photo. So, all my children's are very special, but there's just something about Olivia's light that you can see just purely through a photo that I'm very blessed to be able to share with the world.
Olivia's picture will shine on 2 Jumbotrons in September, kicking off the annual Buddy Walk in New York City. It's a love story, and she just said yes. And so have so many brands and companies. After the break, we'll take a look at brand response to Taylor Swift's engagement announcements. There are some pretty funny posts on social media. But first, it's KSL Traffic. It's brought to you by Mountain America's My Style checking account. Ricky?
Crews are still working on this rolled semi and load spill in Utah County. It's at the bottom of the on-ramp to northbound I-15 at 8th North in Orem, and they're blocking that ramp in order to try to get this mess cleaned up. Then rain across all the freeways in Salt Lake County, slowing speeds, especially on I-15, anywhere between downtown and Draper. Expects a lot of water on the road, and I mean a lot of water. We're just not used to this amount of water on the freeways, so it will affect your speeds. You need to slow down, have those lights and wipers on. Common Spirit hospitals, clinics, and caregivers all connected to advanced health care in Colorado, Kansas, and Utah. Healthcare with Human Kindness is here. Hello, Human Kindness. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
I am not a rich woman, but I feel like a rich woman every time I go in my closet. The best, hands down, present I've ever received was my husband secretly redid my closet with Closets by Design. So now when I go in there aren't all these shoes just junked on the floor. They're neatly sitting on their shelves. And my necklaces are hanging on their individual hooks, and earrings are in their little squares in this soft drawer that pulls out. It's just gorgeous. In fact, he saw how much I loved it. He had Closets by Design redo the garage. So now all the stuff, the tools, the toys, the junk is all in cabinets. When you open our garage door, you see cars. That's it. It's amazing. The things that Closets by Design can do, and it's going to save you money right now because you get up to 40% off plus an additional 15% off with 18-month financing. You can do so much with your closet, much more than you realize, with this wonderful Utah company, Closets by Design. Find out more at 1-800-BY-DESIGN or closetsbydesign.com.
Join KSL in the movie show this Friday from noon to 3 at the Layton NPS store at 1150 North Main Street in Layton, npsstore.com.
You've built the dream, the home, the lifestyle, the legacy. Now it's time your windows and doors reflect that same $1 million standard. Whether you're designing a stunning custom home or upgrading the one you've loved for years, Peach Doors and Windows is here to bring that vision to life with precision, style, and craftsmanship.
The Peach specialty? High-end custom windows and doors that don't just fit your space, they elevate it. From sleek modern lines to timeless elegant finishes, they offer the kinds of craftsmanship that truly complements a $1 million space. And with Peach, the process is easy. No pressure, no gimmicks, just knowledgeable experts helping you find solutions to turn your someday project into right now.
Visit their spacious showroom, get inspired, and create something beautiful together. Peach Doors and Windows for the $1 million home you live in and the $1 million feeling you deserve. Visit peachdoorsandwindows.com or call 801-566-1255 today.
That's Peach Windows and Doors. Give them a call, 801-566-1255.
Sign up for KSL Text Alerts. Get breaking news and traffic updates by texting the word news to 57500. Want access to exclusive contests? Text contest to 57500. Jazz fans, text the word jazz for breaking jazz updates. And Cougar fans, text BYU to 57500 for the latest on the Cougars. Message and data rates may apply.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Hi, this is Derek Overstreet, president of the New Millennium Group and co-host of Stop Working, Start Living with KSL News Radio. Can you imagine what your life would be like if you could retire 3 to 5 years earlier than you thought possible? The things you could do, the loved ones you could spend time with, the memories that you could create. That's what our team at the New Millennium Group does. We'll walk you through the entire process every step of the way. If you'd like to get a copy of the 5-step proprietary plan that will help you retire 3 to 5 years sooner than you thought possible, give us a shout right now. 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370 or utahsfinancialplanner.com. Listen, most of our listeners right now have a tax problem, not a money problem. There's not enough money in Social Security Medicare as it is. Let us show you how you can significantly reduce your taxes. That's 888-999-6370, 888-999-6370, or utahsfinancialplanner.com.
This is Midday. I'm Maria Shilaos. Your English teacher and your gym teacher are getting married. That's what Taylor Swift said when she announced her engagement to NFL player Travis Kelce on Instagram. Fans sharing their reactions across social media.
Important news! Not everyone is going to care, but if you could just care for me, I'd appreciate it. You're pregnant! Let me go! I am not pregnant. Are you ready? Yeah. Taylor Swift got engaged!
At a prep school where students are not allowed to have their phones in class, administrators announcing that news over the intercom.
Sorry for the interruption. I realized that we had a fire drill this morning, and I know that that was a very important thing for us all to work on, but something else very, very important has happened, and I feel like it's important to interrupt class to share this with you. And I'm now going to turn it over to the guru of all social media, Miss Natalie Gorla.
Hey Chargers, I hope that you're having a wonderful day. I come to you with some really, really important news. Miss Taylor Swift is engaged to Travis Kelce. Now, I know that you can't have your phones out right now, so I felt like it was my duty to report this to all of you. But yeah, this is not a joke. This is very real. She posted about it on Instagram 9 minutes ago. Once again, that is correct. Taylor Swift is engaged to Travis Kelce. So do what you will with that information. And yeah.
Now go back to work and focus.
Yeah, please focus. Love you guys. Have a great rest of your Tuesday.
Okay, they're not the least bit excited. Even President Trump chiming in on the announcement and sharing well wishes for the happy couple.
The biggest pop culture news of the year broke while we were in this cabinet meeting. Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are engaged, and the world wants your reaction, sir.
Well, I wish him a lot of luck.
Oh.
No, I think it's. I think he's a great player. I think he's a great guy, and I think that she's a terrific person. So I wish them a lot of luck.
Now, major companies and brands are joining in on the trend. Duolingo reposting the announcement with the caption, "But when will it be your Spanish teacher's turn?" Buffalo Wild Wings writing in all caps, "We will cater the wedding." Utah-based Crumble Cookies saying it's a love story and baby, she said yes. A nod to the lyrics in Taylor Swift's song Love Story. Now, even the city of Cleveland chiming in saying a local man and his new fiancée stun in engagement pics. And the Empire State Building posting this on their TikTok.
Taylor Swift is engaged! She's engaged! She's engaged!
Okay, the man there screaming from the literal rooftop of the Empire State Building. Across social media, many have been comparing their engagement and wedding to those of the royal weddings in the UK. On KSL News Radio's social media, many of you have had some thoughts, so let's read a few of these. Chris says at least one of them got a ring this year, referencing Kelsey's Super Bowl loss. Doug says, finally, it's not the size of the diamond, it's the love that they have for each other. Angela giving a warning. Don't do that, Travis. I don't feel good about this one. No details on the wedding specifics just yet, but rest assured when it happens, it'll have millions and millions and millions of viewers. Jeff Kaplan is here. So how do you feel about this whole wedding thing?
Honestly, I feel great for all the people I know who are Taylor Swift fans.
Oh, my goodness. The producer of Inside Sources, she was jumping up and down, calling it the royal wedding, as close to a royal wedding as we have here in the U.S.
That might be true. Remains to be seen how big they decide to do it, right? But I saw Caitlyn the first thing when I got to work. Hey, are you excited? And she was out of her mind.
Yeah, I love how they're excited.